It's Monday, December 15th. Today, a deadly mass shooting. At least 15 people were killed and dozens wounded at a Hanukkah event in Australia. Drug investigation. How many people are facing charges after a major police probe into trafficking on a northern Manitoba reserve? Delivering care and warmth. Dozens of volunteers participate in the annual Winnipeg Holiday Walk by Urban Wagons. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Ainsley McPhail is live at the Manitoba Electrical Museum. Have you ever been there, Terry?
This is a fun spot. We check in every year.
So sweet, especially during the holidays, because they light it up like crazy. And what's great is some of the light bulbs are from the old school days when they were not LED lights, but very different. So we're going to find out a little bit more about what's there during the holidays and how you could visit for yourself. It's really a great place to visit with the whole family. But the weather this weekend,
oh my
goodness, was it frosty?
Yeah, here's the good news. We are out of the deep freeze and we've got this drastic warm up, which might not be fun actually, because where we're headed could bring some freezing rain and some dicey conditions. But let's take a look outside and see what we're dealing with this morning, shall we? Okay, so it's fairly, well, I was going to say it's fairly clear. It's fairly calm right now. We're dealing with just some clouds, some very light winds, and minus 12. Well, that's actually well above seasonal. A normal low would have us around minus 20. So to begin the day, well above what you would expect. And yes, coming off of that deep freeze of a weekend, this is a nice place to find ourselves first thing on a Monday morning. The pressure is rising, the humidity is sitting at 82%, and those streets are even looking to be in pretty decent shape. Now, we might even see some sunshine today. It's not going to rise until about 20 past 8, so we're certainly getting into those shorter days, the solstice arriving this coming weekend, and then we're finally going to start to see those days lengthening again, but certainly on the shorter side now. So 8:20 is sunrise, 4:27 is sunset, but we might get to enjoy a bit of that sunshine today. There's going to be a break in those clouds right over the Winnipeg area. Some places will see the heavier clouds certainly, and maybe even a little bit of scattered precipitation, but over Winnipeg we actually have a fairly decent chance of seeing moments of sunshine today. Maybe not full out sunshine, but moments of sunshine through parts of the south. Some parts of east central Manitoba might see glimmers of sunshine as well. And then later on into the evening time, precipitation moving through across northern Manitoba, a band cutting through central Manitoba. We might even see some showers possibly this evening, but tomorrow things are looking far more active and with this drastic warm up to come. So the mercury will rise throughout the day today, then it's going to continue to rise overnight and through tomorrow morning, suddenly dropping off. So these numbers won't stay looking like they will. We'll get to about minus 10 today and then up to minus 5 by tomorrow morning, but falling to about minus 8 into the afternoon. Strong winds increasing and driving those temperatures down. So any of that rain will likely freeze and then it will remain a little bit cooler. In fact, we've got some days that'll be cooling below seasonal as we look toward the end of the week again.
Thank you, Terry. At least 15 people were killed and dozens wounded after two gunmen opened fire at a Hanukkah event on Australia's Bondi Beach in Sydney. Police say one of the shooters was also killed, while the second was arrested and is in critical condition. Officials are calling it a terrorist attack. And a warning to viewers, the following story contains graphic images that may be disturbing. CTV's Colton Prail reports.
A joyous moment for this Israeli tourist at a Jewish celebration on Bondi Beach during the first day of Hanukkah. That was quickly shattered just after 6:45 local time, when gunmen opened fire in Australia's worst mass shooting in nearly 3 decades.
I just saw an older lady get shot and she was on the floor. Saw an older guy get shot, very badly injured on the left-hand side, and I just saw a bunch of people screaming, run towards me. I didn't know what was going on.
Social media video captures the horror as the gunman took aim at the Hanukkah by the Sea event. Police say more than 1,000 people were on the beach at the time of the shooting.
The man in the gun, he say me, I go before the car, yes.
He aimed at you?
Moi, there is one car, I say this, I'm cashed. I listen, boom, boom, I cashed.
Among the dozens of people killed and wounded in the attack, a Holocaust survivor among the dead.
I feel horrible. I have no husband,
I don't know where is his body. Nobody can give me any answer.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese condemning the attack as an act of anti-Semitic terrorism.
The evil that was unleashed at Bondi Beach today is beyond comprehension. And the trauma and loss that families are dealing with tonight is beyond anyone's worst nightmare.
Police shot and killed one of the shooters, while another was arrested in critical condition.
The offenders are a 50-year-old and 24-year-old male who are father and son. The 50-year-old is deceased. The 24-year-old is currently in hospital at the moment.
Police say 2 improvised explosive devices were found in a nearby vehicle connected to the dead gunman. Australian police are continuing their investigation and say they've increased police presence near Jewish community centers. Colton Prale, CTV News, Ottawa.
27 people are facing charges after police broke up a drug trafficking network operating in a northern First Nation community.
What we uncovered was a criminal organization that brought drugs and alcohol into the Bondi Beach Cree Nation. Individuals working within this organization distributed drugs and alcohol to local traffickers. They handled collection, payments, enforcement, and storage and dissemination of weapons.
RCMP say they launched the investigation after several violent incidents in the community, including an arson that destroyed the band office. Investigators believe cocaine, fentanyl, and carfentanil were among the drugs being trafficked, and Mounties say some buyers were unknowingly given different and more powerful drugs. Furthermore, RCMP say float planes were being used to fly in large quantities of liquor, which was bootlegged to residents. Altogether, RCMP say the street value of the seized contraband is at least $1.2 million. And Mounties say the suspected leader of the criminal network was already in custody at Milner Ridge Correctional Center.
We'd received information from our partners at Manitoba Corrections, and it is common for drug traffickers to sometimes continue their business while they're incarcerated.
Since the Mounties arrested the suspects, they say there has been a noticeable impact on public safety in the past 6 weeks. It says service calls to the Oxford House RCMP detachment have been cut nearly in half compared to the previous month. Floodwaters in Abbotsford, BC have started to recede, but there is more rain in the forecast, leaving many communities bracing for it to get worse before they get better.
Today they opened up so we could come and do a quick shop just in case it floods again tonight, because we don't know what's coming with the rain.
While conditions slowly improve, officials are warning that things could change quickly. BC's emergency management minister says flood and landslide risks in parts of the province will increase with more stormy weather today. Rainfall warnings are in place across the Fraser Valley. Officials say areas that were hit hard by cross-border flooding last week can expect the new system to bring significant rain of up to 80 millimeters. The heaviest downpours are expected today. As winter sets in, thousands of people in PEI can't count on cell phone service, raising concerns about what would happen during an emergency.
I do driving patrols at night. It's not so reliable. We're trying to call the emergency number, trying to call 911. I've had that concern once before, trying to dial 911 for a medical emergency.
A recent cellular gap analysis across the province found more than 2,200 kilometers of road with no reception inside cars, plus another 800 kilometers without service outside of cars. Meanwhile, there's nearly 7,000 homes without indoor cell service and about 2,500 dead zones outside in PEI. The province says it's committed $3.4 million into the improvement of cellular services. The first phase involves buying micro towers, which can be installed on top of publicly owned buildings. Those are expected to be installed later on next year. A group of volunteers delivered care and warmth to unsheltered and vulnerable community members on Sunday. The annual holiday walk by Urban Wagons delivered hot meals, winter clothing, care packages, and social interaction. The group's director, Lisa Moranz, says the group has been hearing from people saying that the shelters are completely filled. Several people picked up the care packages even before the walk officially started, and she described the moment as both purposeful and sad.
We should be able to do more for people who are challenged by shelter. It's sad in a way to see them come up knowing that they need blankets or hats or gloves. We see the frostbite on their fingers. So there needs to be more action, I guess, done with official agencies.
The group also said they are seeing a lot of people under economic stress. For winter, the group is looking for jackets and men's socks and any type of food. More information is available on their website, urbanwagons.ca. Taking a look now at the current traffic situation around Portage Avenue at Polo Park. Looks like things are starting off well over here in this part of the city. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive, but if you do see anything out there, please let us know. Text them to us at 10400. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live this morning at the Manitoba Hydro Electrical Museum. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. We're lighting up the holiday season this morning at one of my favorite spots, the Manitoba Electrical Museum. And you have until January 10th to take advantage of these spectacular decorations that their volunteers have put up. Now, when you walk into the museum, this is just the entrance. They're giving you a history of electricity in this province all the way back to the 1800s. There's a farm kitchen in there, and we're getting modern as well with the electrical vehicle tree. There's also an audio tree. We'll tell you a little bit about how you can donate and give back to our community as well. We're also at 727 learning about Mill Street Station. So we're getting some local history, some of our favorite. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's not as cold today as it was this weekend, but it's still frigid.
Thank goodness for that. You know, what a change up, though. I mean, it's still cold. I mean, it's wintertime after all. Technically, it's still late fall. Anyway, but we're into that season where you expect it to be cold, but maybe just not as cold as it was over the weekend. Oof, that was nasty. And so this morning, what a beautiful change up. It's seeming quite pleasant out here. We're sitting at minus 12. That's an above seasonal start to the day. Minus 20 would be a normal low. Now it does feel more like minus 16 once you're factoring in that wind, but the wind is on the lighter side, 7 clicks out of the north. The pressure is the pressure is rising with the humidity sitting at 82%, and we are dealing with a few extra clouds out here this morning, but we might enjoy a little bit of sunshine, especially as the day goes on here through southern Manitoba. Clouds are expected to clear at least a little bit, and some moments of sunshine to enjoy as the temperatures keep rising, not by much. I mean, we're at minus 12 right now. We'll get to about minus 10, but then the mercury actually continues to warm up overnight, and there is a possibility of some precipitation to come this evening. So we could see a little bit of some freezing rain tonight, and then it continues to warm tomorrow with a rain-snow mix on the way. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more on CTV Morning Live.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
We all know just how cold Manitoba winters can be. Imagine not having a winter coat, boots, a toque, or mitts, and stepping out into the cold. That's the reality for many kids. But you can change that. Give the gift of warmth. Donate to Coats for Kids.
Good morning. The attack on Australia's Bondi Beach in Sydney cast a shadow over the start of Hanukkah celebrations across Canada. The first day of Hanukkah meant to bring hope and light into the world shrouded in darkness for Canada's Jewish community. Kamil Kermali spoke to members of the Toronto Jewish community.
The lighting of the menorah here in Toronto dimmed.
It's a tough day for the Jewish community.
By a deadly mass shooting in Australia targeting a Jewish event, the violence half a world away, hitting home. Naomi Plax's step-uncle, one of the victims.
What we experienced today was really shocking and tragic.
Rabbi Eli Schlanger killed while preparing to lead the Hanukkah celebrations on Bondi Beach.
He was just an amazing, amazing individual who, as my mom said today, didn't have a bad bone in his body, was just an extremely positive and kind individual.
There you go. Here at this Jewish-owned bakery, customers coming in for Hanukkah treats, but also craving comfort. What's everyone feeling?
Sadness and a desire to bring in light.
Some conversations more difficult than others between father and son.
We know we have to always watch over our shoulder and kind of be aware of what's going on.
Data shows anti-Semitism has been on the rise in Canada since the Israel-Hamas war began, reaching a record high last year, according to this Jewish group.
Jewish individuals have a right to celebrate their faith just as any other religion, and we are seeing that compromise now across the world.
With Jewish leaders in Canada calling for peace.
The Jews of this city do not vote in Israeli elections. And yet the people who hate us, the forces that these politicians do not want to confront, assume that everything is of a collective guilt.
With many more Hanukkah celebrations taking place across the country, Jewish groups say they're working with the local authorities to ensure added security and safety.
Parents at a Montreal school are calling on the province to change its policy on crossing guards for high schools after a 14-year-old boy was hit by a driver last year.
We're more than a year out, and not enough has been done. I still feel that the risk of this happening to another child and the outcome being worse is very high.
His mother is an intensive care physician at Montreal's Children's Hospital. She says crossing the road safely shouldn't be left to chance. Flashing stop signs have been installed, and there's now an increased police presence at the school. But parents want a crossing guard. Quebec's Automobile Insurance Board considers pedestrians older than 12 to be adults, and under its guidelines, crossing guards are only at primary schools. The parental group has until the end of February to get signatures on a petition to get Quebec to change this policy. The person of interest detained in connection with Saturday's deadly shooting at Brown University has been released.
Our investigation into this horrific act remains ongoing. It has been ongoing.
2 people were killed in the shooting and 9 others were wounded, including one in critical condition. Authorities have not disclosed a possible motive. The mass shooting is the latest of nearly 400 in the U.S. this year, according to the Gun Violence Archive. Sick notes will soon be a thing of the past in Manitoba, and a new toolkit is now available to help employers and human resource teams manage workplace absences going forward.
This resource is going to give employers the practical tools that they need to adjust their policies and keep their workplaces running really well.
A scrap on sick notes was announced in last month's throne speech after a push from Doctors Manitoba over the past year. Under new guidelines, Manitobans won't need to visit a doctor to get a note for most health-related short-term absences from work. It's a move to help lighten the load on doctors.
Sick notes have grown to become a big issue here in Manitoba, with over 600,000 sick notes requested of physicians annually. That's over 1,500 sick notes each and every day. I wrote 2 this morning before driving here. That's a lot, but it's even bigger when you think about the cumulative time away from patient care to write all of those notes.
The new free toolkit available through the Doctors Manitoba website includes templates, forms, and other documents businesses and organizations can use to track and review absences. Legislation to prohibit sick notes is anticipated in the spring. Saturday was chilly, but nothing could stop these carolers.
You would even say it goes.
Giggling Ivories, a private music school in River Grove, dispatched teams of carolers from Linden Woods Community Center. These teams' mission, visiting homes door to door and collecting donations for Harvest Manitoba. An organizer said carolers came from all ages, and for some, this was their first time ever caroling around.
Well, I think it's fabulous that we can bring a little bit of old school community helping community together because sometimes we forget, we get caught behind our devices, although we do have a scan code, a caroling book today, and donation, a QR code that you can donate for Harmony for Harvest. But it's old with new, combining it together, and again, community with community.
Macaluso says this was her first time doing it. She hopes to make this event an annual one and said maybe Mother Nature will make it a little warmer next year, hopefully. Some road closures to remind you about this morning on McPhillips. The northbound curb lane will be closed between Elgin and Winnipeg. The northbound median lane on Edmonton will be closed between Broadway and Graham. The southbound curb lane on Yonge will be closed between Sargent and Ellis following the rush. If you have any other traffic tips, text them to us, please, at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
A look outside now through the Bath Fitter Live. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. So we are out of the deep freeze, and we're actually going to notice a huge temperature swing now over the next 24, 48 hours, because throughout the day today that temperature will rise, but then it's actually going to continue to rise into the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning before it plummets again. So let's take a look first at where we begin. Starting out right now at -12 here in Winnipeg, with similar temperatures through most of southern Manitoba. Some low minus double digits or mid minus teens. Brandon is a little bit cooler right now at minus 18, but still minus 20 would be a normal low. So everybody is below seasonal to kick or above seasonal, pardon me, to kick off your morning. And then there's northern Manitoba pushing up into those low to mid or high minus 20s. This is before we're factoring in the winds. Now, thankfully, the winds are on the lighter side here across southern Manitoba, not making too much difference to that wind chill value. But up in Churchill, and that's an improvement. It was minus 40 or feeling like minus 40 earlier this morning. Now feeling like minus 39 once you're factoring in those winds. As far as the conditions go today, there will be some heavier clouds hanging around, especially through parts of northern Manitoba. Starting to see those clouds breaking up a little bit here in the south, and we might even enjoy moments of sunshine through the day today. From minus 11 as kids get settled into the classroom, we'll head to a high of about minus 10. And then I mentioned it continues to warm up overnight and through tomorrow morning, getting up to about plus 5, but then sharply falling through the afternoon tomorrow, and we're going to end up back below freezing, about minus 8. After that, we're going to be seeing some slightly cooler temperatures, but fluctuating from minus 4 to minus 17. You're really going to notice a bit of a roller coaster throughout this week with those temps. And our weather picture showing off those cold conditions on the weekend. Yes, sun dogs as the sun was setting here in the Winnipeg area. Thanks to Debbie for the photo. And keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
If you're looking to spruce up your house, Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest that could help. The Winnipeg Renovation Show runs January 16th to the 18th at the RBC Convention Centre, and we have a few prizes to give away. One grand prize winner will walk away with a $1,000 gift card, 4 tickets to the show with VIP seating, and a meet and greet with Mike Holmes Jr. There's also 3 prizes of $500 gift cards with tickets to be won. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to enter the keyword home. Good luck. A special day for hundreds of families across Canada. Some deserving children got a new toy and a break from their hospital routine. CTV's Josh Morano on more.
Inside the Toys R Us in Nepean, Poppy Roy Smith is making the most of a once-a-year opportunity. Yay! Her family is one of nearly 50, picking up new toys hours before the doors open to the public.
You don't really know what to expect, and then you get in here, they're like, oh, here's a little gift baggie, here's a $50 gift certificate, please go get your face painted. Like, they just offer so many special things.
It's really nice to be able to obviously come in here where it's like less chaotic and around like like-minded individuals.
Toys R Us and Starlight Children's Foundation Canada once again partnering to give kids living with serious illnesses a $50 gift card to choose their own gifts and meet some of their favorite superheroes, princesses, and even Santa Claus.
A lot of these families, their day-to-day is hospitals. It's a lot of hardships, and this is just a time for them to come around, smile, have that time with their families, and again, just be free.
Everybody doesn't get to go shopping sometimes because they have a disability, right? So this is a good opportunity for everybody to just get out and pick something that they've never had.
Jordan Ahi is back for another year, and he's not just buying for himself.
I've been donating to Toy Mountain too right now because I don't want anybody to miss out on anything.
For families like Poppy's, the hustle and bustle of holiday shopping can be challenging, so they say they're grateful to have this opportunity.
There's a lot of loud noises and a lot of things that we just can't control, obviously. So it's really nice to be able to come in here where it's more relaxing for him and a more enjoyable experience.
Shopping with kids like Poppy is not the easiest task always, especially when stores are really busy and you're trying to navigate with, big strollers and wheelchairs and everything. So having stuff like this, it just gives you a warm, fuzzy hug.
Josh Morano, CTV News.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Minus 12 to kick off your morning. Feels, though, like minus 16. We've got winds out of the north. They're on the lighter side, just 7 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 82%. A few extra clouds, but they'll be clearing out, and we might even enjoy some sunshine today. There you can see on the satellite image what I'm talking about. Clearest conditions are actually right over Winnipeg, and some parts of the north might even enjoy some sunshine too. Everybody kind of touch and go as far as sunshine goes, but there will be some clouds too, and maybe even some scattered precipitation. The possibility is there that we see a few scattered flakes of snow. -10 though, that's where we're headed today with temperatures, and that is exactly normal for this time of year. There's not a massive warm up from where we're sitting right now at -12, but then it's actually going to continue to warm up into the overnight hours. We'll probably get to about the freezing mark with some precipitation on the way into the evening overnight. Chance of freezing rain or maybe some flurries, and then continuing to rise throughout the day tomorrow to about +5. Keeping in mind it's December, +5 through the morning hours, but then starkly dropping into the afternoon. So it's not going to stay mild, and that's not going to be pleasant because we've got these winds out of the northwest. At times they could be gusting to about 70 kilometers per hour. It's going to take the temperature back down again, and that snow will continue through Wednesday. Maybe a little bit brighter Thursday, but colder on Thursday, and then those temperatures kind of returning close to seasonal, maybe a little bit below as we're looking ahead to the coming weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg police say a woman has been charged with arson after she allegedly lit a mattress on fire. Police say emergency crews were called Friday to an apartment building on Mayfair Place after a report of a fight and a fire in a unit. They allege one of the residents, a 31-year-old woman, pulled a fire alarm after setting a mattress on fire within her suite. This led to the building residents temporarily evacuating. Police say they arrested her nearby and learned she had allegedly started the fire after a dispute with family members. The woman now faces arson-related charges and was released on an undertaking. None of the charges have been tested in court. A water main break Friday afternoon caused some major flooding on Main Street and some major traffic problems as a result. The city says crews working at the North End wastewater treatment plant damaged the water main, and as you can see, it caused a torrent of water to flood Main Street near Chief Peguis Trail. City crews shut down Main Street in both directions between Seaforth Avenue and Chief Peguis. The city says crews are trying to figure out the extent of the damage. However, officials are warning the break may have stirred up existing sediment in the water pipes, which could cause discolored water. They're advising people in North Winnipeg to check for discolored water before using, if for drinking, preparing food, or for laundry. By 10:30 p.m. Friday, the city said crews had stopped the water from flowing. However, it may take several days to determine exactly how the accident occurred. Main Street reopened late Friday evening after slush and ice were removed from the area. The Canadian Centre for Child Protection says Canada needs tougher regulations around social media use to protect children. The call comes after Australia banned kids under the age of 16 from having an account with a range of social media platforms like Facebook and X. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, not everyone is convinced this ban will work.
Ask most young people if they use social media, and you'll likely get this answer.
Pretty often. It's tends to be into my day-to-day life. It's how I reconnect with a lot of people.
Talicia Berdebois says that way to connect has pros and cons for people her age and younger.
A lot of kids do seem to get bullied online, and there's a lot of influences online, negative and positive.
The Canadian Centre for Child Protection supports Australia's under-16 move. While they'd like to see something like that here, they say Canada first needs a regulatory framework around social media use. As social media is damaging to children in a countless number of ways.
Social media is not necessary in those younger ages, and in fact, as we've seen, causes a fair bit of harm.
The Canadian Centre for Child Protection supports Australia's restrictions, and they want a similar approach here. They say the current self-regulation model isn't working, as social media is damaging to children in a countless number of ways.
We know that there are algorithms that are pushing content to kids that they're perhaps not understanding or recognizing that it is being pushed to them. Things like self-harm content, pornography content.
But not everyone is convinced the ban is feasible.
I am skeptical. I'll await the results, but I think overall this is going to be a bigger challenge that needs to be addressed globally.
Some tech experts question how this will be enforced and say children will find ways to get around this.
It may also push people to parts of the internet that just aren't safe, that may not be social media platforms to begin with.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
If there are still little ones on your holiday shopping list, experts are encouraging you to keep safety top of mind.
Each parent has two eyes and a lot of things to do, and things happen quickly.
Dr. Maureen Amann with Cleveland Clinic says if you're buying gifts for young children, the first thing to stay away from is anything that has a button battery in it, as children can swallow them. If the toy has a battery, she recommends you make sure it requires a screwdriver to be opened. Also avoid toys that use artificial intelligence.
Apparently there's some toys that have AI features that will have conversations with the child, and this could obviously be very dangerous.
Amann also says she sees lots of injuries from motorized vehicles like scooters or bikes, so she urges caution if those are on your child's list. Finally, Amann says avoid giving young children toys with small parts or anything that can break off. She says a general rule of thumb is if a piece from a toy fits through a toilet paper roll, it's too small for small children. A rare and royal bottle of Dom Pérignon has sold for nearly $82,000. The vintage 1961 champagne that was specially produced for the 1981 wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana was auctioned off in Denmark. The unique label reads, "Specially shipped to honor the marriage of His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales and Lady Diana Spencer." The champagne was a limited edition wedding release created to celebrate the union. Here's a look at what's happening now on the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are slowly picking up over here, as you can see, but overall moving well. It is a few places on the streets might be a little slippery, so be mindful of that. If you see any problems out there, let us know, please. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average stands at $1.25. The provincial average is lower at $1.12. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.10, and the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.02 a litre. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Coming up, Ainsley McPhail is live at the Manitoba Electrical Museum. Learn the history of electricity in Manitoba. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
It's a beautiful start to your Monday morning. These temperatures so much better than anything that we experienced over the weekend. I know that was nasty. We were stuck in the deep freeze for a couple of days. Now we're going to see the complete opposite, a swing with these temperatures. Today will be the most pleasant. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit of a shock, and maybe not in the best way. We're right now sitting at -12. It feels like -16 if you're factoring in those winds, which are on the lighter side, just 7 kilometers per hour out of the north. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 82%. We might even enjoy a little bit of sunshine today. Of course, 8:20 is when that will officially begin to rise. So we've still got a ways to go before we're even starting to enjoy some of that daylight. But we might see, like I said, glimmers of sunshine today, and enjoy that. Temperatures will be on the rise to about -10, very seasonal, normal temperatures, light winds. It'll be pleasant. By this evening time, there is a chance for some precipitation rolling through, and the temperatures keep rising into the evening overnight. So we could be seeing some freezing rain overnight, or some straight up showers as they continue to warm up through tomorrow morning before they plummet tomorrow afternoon, and then suddenly we're sliding back into the deep freeze. And with that rain tomorrow is only going to change to ice once those temperatures start to drop. Taking a check in on Ainsley McPhail, who's out on location right now. Let's see what's going on. Hey, Ainsley, what's up?
Good morning. The best part about the Manitoba Electrical Museum this time of year is the way that the volunteers rally together and make this area look spectacular. Reed Winston joins us now to tell us all about it. It really takes a full effort to put all of this together and make it what it is.
Yeah, the volunteers set up Christmas trees that go through the eras. So you've got trees that are decorated from as they were in 1900 or 1910 or 1920. And as you go through the museum, you can see the change in both the tree itself. You've gone from real to artificial to very artificial, and then back to artificial trees that look much more real than they ever have. The museum itself is, sort of a science museum, but with more a social story to it. It shows the changes in lifestyle over time. I mean, you go back not so long ago, my grandparents grew up without power, without running water, without heat. You know, they had fireplaces where they had to harvest the logs. They had to haul the water. They had to burn. Spent a major amount of time trying to get their house to where it was livable, where we come home and flip a switch, turn the lights on, sit back in a nice warm living room and have a nice hot bath in the evening. There's some major changes over time. And the museum highlights really the transitions over that, both from a lifestyle and the equipment that we use.
And more specifically over the holidays too, what the decor was like at the time.
Yes, quite. At this time of year, we highlight the change in decoration so that you've got, we spent a lot of time trying to both decorate the museum and to try and make it time sensitive as to what goes where, so that you've got the 1910 stuff with the 1910 technology, the 2000 stuff with the 2000 technology, and some of the local interests at the time. So,
well, I don't know about you, but my Christmas tree doesn't have candles on it. I don't know if I can trust myself with that. Thank you so much. We got more coming up after the break.
The early markets this morning show the Dow Jones up 242 points. The Nasdaq also showing gains, up 142 points. The S&P index is up as well. The Canadian dollar dipped slightly. The Hang Seng lost 347, and the Nikkei is down 668 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. Winnipeg police have arrested several people for alleged retail theft, with 2 of them named on the Winnipeg Crime Stoppers retail theft wanted list. Police say around 4:30 p.m. on Thursday, a 36-year-old woman was arrested for an alleged theft from a store in the 1500 block of Regent Avenue West near Kildonan Place. They say she entered the store around 2:15, which was an alleged violation of her release order. Then the woman picked clothes and left without paying. Police say on Friday they arrested 2 men listed on the Winnipeg Crime Stoppers retail theft wanted list. At 11:30 a.m. in the 700 block of Burroughs Avenue, officers found a 60-year-old man from the list during a traffic stop. He was arrested for 5 outstanding warrants, and during their arrest, police say they found a gram of fentanyl and the same amount of cocaine. He was detained in custody. Police say about an hour later, a 49-year-old man allegedly stole items from a store in the Polo Park area. He was also listed as one of the top 10 wanted individuals. The man was arrested on the strength of 4 warrants and faces a new charge of theft under $5,000. All 3 were detained in custody, and none of the charges have been proven in court. If you rely on transit late at night, there are some changes you'll want to know about.
Because sometimes I do have late classes and sometimes we go out with friends, so it might be good like if they have late buses, so yeah.
With the winter schedule launching Sunday, several updates to the new transit system are now in effect. All on-request zones currently operating after 7 p.m. now have extended service to about 2 a.m. on weekdays and Saturdays. On Sundays and holidays, they'll operate until about 12:45 a.m. Additionally, boundaries for Zone 103 were adjusted so people can take on-request rides to Garden City Shopping Center and Walmart. Several routes were also adjusted and some new buses added following complaints of buses being late and over capacity. New figures from Ottawa show our province is expected to see a significant jump in federal equalization payments in the next fiscal year. It shows the Manitoba government will see payments rise by $355 million, or 7.5%. Equalization payments have risen steadily for more than a decade. Next year's forecast total of $5 billion is double what the province received in 2020. PCs say the NDP government isn't making headway on balancing the books despite high increases. The government finished the last fiscal year with a higher than expected deficit and appears set to surpass its target this year as well. Finance Minister Adrienne Sala says the government's promise of balancing the budget before the 2027 election remains achievable. Manitoba is currently the only Western province that receives the funding. Looking for a simple way to give back this holiday season? Your next cup of coffee or tea could help support Toy Mountain. A local coffee chain, Colosimo Coffee Roasters, collabed up with our friends at 103.1 Virgin Radio to present 2 holiday-themed drinks to support Toy Mountain. London Nog, an Earl Grey with eggnog, and Coffee Fee Latte, inspired from Toffee Fay candy, were presented in the Snack Shot segment of the Ace Burpee Show.
They asked us if we would want to get involved in something, and then the proceeds are going to be going to the Toy Mountain this year, which is, helping out, providing everyone have a great Christmas and families and throughout this season. And yeah, we're just excited to be a part of anything to do that we can give back to the community, support community, coffee community, who is hand in hand.
London Nog and Coffee Fade Latte are available this week until Saturday at the chain's 4 locations in Winnipeg. Portions of the proceeds will go to Toy Mountain. A full list of the chain's locations is available on their website, colisemocoffee.com. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on McPhillips. The northbound curb lane will be closed between Elgin and Winnipeg. The northbound median lane on Edmonton will be closed between Broadway and Graham. And the southbound curb lane on Yonge will be closed between Sargent and Ellis following the rush. If you have any other traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us, please, at 10400.
All right, a look outside this morning. It's -12 right now. We've got a bit of a breeze out of the north. It's only 7 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 82%. Just that bit of a breeze, so even our wind chill value isn't that shocking this morning. Everything about today will be so much more pleasant than it was over the weekend. I know that deep freeze was something else. But now we've got a beautiful way to kick off the week. However, we're in for a swing the other way that might not be as pleasant. So taking a look right now throughout the province on the satellite image, you can see just some scattered clouds. There's no precipitation showing up at this time, but that doesn't mean that there won't be. There will be the possibility of a few scattered flakes of snow up around the Thompson area, perhaps. Maybe a little more sunshine in around Gillam. And as far as temperatures go, low 20s, mid to high minus teens, pretty much normal for this time of year, I suppose, as far as temperatures go. Maybe a little bit below seasonal. But the heavier clouds, you'll probably notice them lingering with maybe even some scattered flurries throughout much of the northwest, whereas here through the southwest, things might look a little bit brighter for some. Places like Dauphin, Brandon, enjoying a little more in the way of sunshine. Up around the Swan River area, you could be in for some of that mixed precipitation. Here we're looking at sunnier conditions, or at least moments of sunshine today, and temperatures rising to about -10. That is in fact normal for this time of year. Then it actually continues to rise overnight, and then tomorrow we'll talk about that yet. Northwestern Ontario looking pleasant for you, a little bit of sunshine to enjoy. So I mentioned those temperatures rising overnight. There is the possibility of some precipitation tonight. Could be showing up as freezing rain, and it warms to about +5 tomorrow. That is in fact actual +5, but then falling drastically to about -8 into the afternoon. Showers could then change to flurries, all of that wet snow changing back to ice. So winds are also going to be intense for tomorrow. Nothing pleasant. I know it looks like +5. Oh, it's going to be mild. No, it's not going to be a pleasant day. It's going to be the start of some stormy weather and then cooling through the rest of the week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's check in now on the crew at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Hi, guys. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. We're getting obviously close to the end of the year, but we're also getting close to Christmas, and that means the end of our Toy Mountain. So we just want to bring attention to it. You know that we were at CF Polo Park, everyone, and we were broadcasting from there and collecting toys for Salvation Army. So that hasn't actually finished. That toy store where parents can go and shop for those gifts, that's been open for the last week or so, and there's still a need to fill when it comes to toys. So what you can still do is stop by any Scotiabank location. They will deliver what they have in donations just on the 24th. So you do still have time. So please, if you haven't given to Toy Mountain, we're really asking that you consider doing that. And then we know that you just played the story of what turned out to be an amazing idea. But the holiday nog and the, what's the other one called?
The London Nog and the Coffee Fe Latte.
I got them both wrong.
Yeah, it took me 5 years to learn how to say toffee fe. Toffee fe. I still said it wrong.
Yeah. So we've been getting really amazing response from these coffees.
It's been great.
So these holiday coffees, as you know, are only available until this Saturday at any Colosimo coffee location. So whether that be Pacific or Portage or Henderson, I'm missing one more here, Provencher, you can get them, but only until the 20th. So we've been having like a really great response. People really love both of them. They think they're actually really, really good.
There was actually one that didn't make the cut, and that was, we thought it might be a little too polarizing, but it was the Terry's Chocolate Orange. So we had come up with a Terry's Hot Chocolate Orange. And I thought it tasted quite good. had mixed reviews, so we decided in the end not to go with that one, but I think we're happy with what they've done with the coffee fay latte and the London Nog. I think it turned out really well.
And the proceeds from those coffees will go to Toy Mountain as well, so it's just another way that you can support that initiative.
That's wonderful. And then you get a nice coffee while you're at it. Thanks, you guys. Have a great week.
You too.
A Manitoba woman is suffering from 4 extremely rare medical conditions, and the surgery required to fix them is not available in Canada, leaving her to pay a hefty medical bill to travel outside the country. CTV's Alex Karpa reports on her limited options.
Okay, so this is my feeding tube.
For most people, eating is simple, but for Nicole Friesen, it's something her body can no longer do.
So this is all of my feed.
Friesen lives with 4 rare vascular compression syndromes, including superior mesenteric artery syndrome, a disorder that makes it extremely difficult for food and fluids to pass through her digestive system.
I am reliant on a feeding tube and a PICC line for nutrition and hydration because of that.
Friesen says she's battled digestive issues her entire life. As she got older, eating became nearly impossible.
I got to a point where I couldn't eat more than like 3 bites of food, and I would feel very, very full and nauseous, and I would have severe pain for hours. So I would just be curled up in the fetal position with a heating pad in bed, and I was just stuck that way every time I tried to consume something.
Desperate for answers, Friesen saw around a dozen medical professionals in Manitoba, but didn't get the answers she'd hoped for. She then traveled to Spain this past June for further testing, where doctors confirmed SMAS, along with 3 other rare conditions.
To have 2 or more of these conditions would be extremely rare, and to have all 4 would be very, very rare.
Friesen is scheduled for specialized surgery in Virginia since it's not available in Canada.
When somebody has a very rare condition or a collection of rare conditions, it's not uncommon to feel that there's a lack of care that's available.
Friesen wants one prayer answered.
We're very hopeful that this surgery will allow me to be able to regain that ability to eat.
Holding out hope, her story sheds light for others going through a similar journey. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winkler, Manitoba.
It's Monday, December 15th. Today, a tragedy in Australia. What officials are saying about a shooting at a Hanukkah event. Plus, a major drug bust. How police uncovered a criminal organization in northern Manitoba. And some Christmas cheer. How a group of carolers supported Harvest Manitoba. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It is 7 o'clock on your Monday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Going outside to play is something that I grew up doing my whole life, of course, whether it be summer or winter. But many people in this community don't feel safe enough to go outside for leisure. There's a book coming out of its research from the University of Manitoba with a new book. It's called Inclusion, Equity in Outdoor Leisure. So we're going to find out why there are some barriers for some people in this community to go outside and have some fun. But really, going outside and having fun was not on the menu at all this weekend.
Oh, I know. It was so cold. There were some warnings in place regarding that cold weather. They've all been lifted, and today, so much better. So feel like you can, with ease, dress up and go outside. I mean, dress up for the weather. Still throw those layers on. It's still wintertime after all, but it's not the deep freeze that we had to endure over the weekend. We're starting out at -12 right now. It feels like -16 with the north wind 7 kilometers per hour. That pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 82%. We'll see a few clouds, but some breaks in those clouds will allow the sun to shine through them. And you can see right now on the satellite image what I'm talking about. Moments of clouds, but also some clearer patches where we'll eventually see that sunshine. It's not even rising until 8:20 this morning, but we should start to see the day glow a little bit in advance of that. Now, there may be some scattered precipitation moving through parts of central Manitoba through the day today, or later on this afternoon across parts of northern Manitoba. Then into the evening time, you saw that pass through. The chance of some maybe freezing rain. These temperatures will be on the rise, not just through the day, but actually continuing to rise overnight, and then still more so through tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, we could start to see some rain, and then that rain changing to snow because it's only going to warm through the morning hours. Into the afternoon, those temperatures turn around and tank, and suddenly we're going to be dropping down back below freezing to about -8 by tomorrow afternoon. So today, That's seasonal. -10 is normal for this time of year. There is nothing normal about where we're headed tomorrow, well above the freezing mark. But then I mentioned dropping to about -8 through the afternoon, and that's going to come with some really strong, intense northwest winds. They could at times gust to 70 clicks. After that, our temperatures, they're kind of all over the map. There will be some sunshine. There's also going to be some precipitation. Just brace yourself for a bit of a roller coaster throughout the rest of this week. Our art today is all thanks to Olivia, 14 years old, and I love what you've done here. A very beautiful, serene, and wintry scene. Keep the art coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
At least 15 people were killed and dozens wounded after 2 gunmen opened fire at a Hanukkah event on Australia's Bondi Beach in Sydney. Police say one of the shooters was also killed, while the second was arrested and is in critical condition. Officials are calling it a terrorist attack. And a warning to the viewers, the following story contains graphic images that may be disturbing. CTV's Colton Prale reports.
A joyous moment for this Israeli tourist at a Jewish celebration on Bondi Beach during the first day of Hanukkah. That was quickly shattered just after 6:45 local time, when gunmen opened fire in Australia's worst mass shooting in nearly 3 decades.
I just saw an older lady get shot, and she was on the floor. Saw an older guy get shot, very badly injured on the left-hand side, and I just saw a bunch of people screaming, run towards me. I didn't know what was going on.
Social media video captures the horror as the gunman took aim at the Hanukkah by the Sea event. Police say more than 1,000 people were on the beach at the time of the shooting.
The man in the gun, he say me, I go before the car, yes.
He aimed at you?
Moi. There is one car, I say this, I'm cashed. I listen, boom, boom, I cashed.
Among the dozens of people killed and wounded in the attack, a Holocaust survivor among the dead.
I feel horrible. I have no husband. I don't know where is his body. Nobody can give me any answer.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese condemning the attack as an act of anti-Semitic terrorism.
The evil that was unleashed at Bondi Beach today is beyond comprehension. And the trauma and loss that families are dealing with tonight is beyond anyone's worst nightmare.
Police shot and killed one of the shooters, while another was arrested in critical condition.
The offenders are a 50-year-old and 24-year-old male who are father and son. The 50-year-old is deceased. The 24-year-old is currently in hospital at the moment.
Police say 2 improvised explosive devices were found in a nearby vehicle connected to the dead gunman.
Australian police are continuing their investigation and say they've increased police presence near Jewish community centres. Colton Prale, CTV News, Ottawa.
27 people are facing charges after police broke up a drug trafficking network operating in a northern First Nation community.
What we uncovered was a criminal organization that brought drugs and alcohol into the Bondi Beach Cree Nation. Individuals working within this organization distributed drugs and alcohol to local traffickers. They handled collection, payments, enforcement, and storage and dissemination of weapons.
RCMP say they launched the investigation after several violent incidents in the community, including an arson that destroyed the band office. Investigators believe cocaine, fentanyl, and carfentanil were among the drugs being trafficked, and Mounties say some buyers were unknowingly given different and more powerful drugs. Furthermore, RCMP say float planes were being used to fly in large quantities of liquor, which was bootlegged to residents. Altogether, RCMP say the street value of the seized contraband is at least $1.2 million. And Mounties say the suspected leader of the criminal network was already in custody at Milner Ridge Correctional Center.
We'd received information from our partners at Manitoba Corrections, and it is common for drug traffickers to sometimes continue their business while they're incarcerated.
Since the Mounties arrested the suspects, they say there has been a noticeable impact on public safety in the past 6 weeks. It says service calls to the Oxford House RCMP detachment have been cut nearly in half compared to the previous month. Cases of the flu are surging in Ontario. This is based off the latest figures from the province's public health. Nearly 26% of influenza tests came back positive for the week ending December 6th. Public Health says influenza activity is now higher than any of the past 3 seasons. Officials are recommending people to get their flu shot. European leaders could come to an agreement today in support of Ukraine. This as Washington continues to pressure leaders to accept a U.S. brokered peace deal. U.S. envoys and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met in Berlin yesterday, and Ukrainian and European officials are continuing a series of meetings in an effort to secure peace and security. Zelensky had said he was ready to drop his country's bid to join NATO in exchange for Western security guarantees, but rejected the U.S.'s push for conceding territory to Russia. Saturday was chilly, but nothing could stop these carolers.
You would even say it glows.
Giggling Ivories, a private music school in River Grove, dispatched teams of carolers from Linden Woods Community Center. These teams' mission? Visiting homes door to door and collecting donations for Harvest Manitoba. Organizers said carolers came from all ages, and for some, this was their first time ever caroling around.
Well, I think it's fabulous that we can bring a little bit of old school community helping community together because sometimes we forget, we get caught behind our devices, although we do have a scan code, a caroling book today, and donation, a QR code that you can donate for Harmony for Harvest. But it's old with new, combining it together, and again, community with community.
Macaluso said this was her first time doing it. She hopes to make this event an annual one and said maybe Mother Nature will make it a little warmer next year. Well, it's certainly a little bit warmer this morning. This is what it looks like right now on McPhillip Street. Things are slowly picking up over here. We have no reports of any issues out on the streets at this point, though. If you do see something, please text them to us at 10400.
Home sales in Canada were down almost 11% in November compared to the same time last year. The Canadian Real Estate Association says the number of homes sold dropped 10.7%. Month over month, home sales were down 0.6%. New listings dropped 1.6%. Now, the CREA says trade tensions with the U.S. continue to weigh heavily on potential buyers. Gold is nearing a fresh record fueled by doubts about technology stocks and U.S. borrowing costs. Bullion climbed as much as 1.2% and is in its longest winning streak since the run-up to an all-time high back in October. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Let's go back now to the Manitoba Electrical Museum where Ainsley McPhail is live. That's your favorite place to visit at this time of year, Ainsley. Good morning.
Oh, you're throwing me under the bus, eh? I'm not allowed to say that. I tell everyone it's my favorite place, Rochelle. But truly, especially this time of year, it's such an awesome place to be. And the education that they have, aligning with Manitoba curriculum, 6th graders and 9th graders. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a lesson now that I actually learned this morning. So with the transition to LED lights, these lights, this whole thing just is, wait, hold on. All of these lights and one of these lights is the same power. Is that right? No. Kenny's giving me a look. It's the opposite. Oh my goodness. Is it Monday or is it Monday? I can't even give I would be a horrible teacher. Anyways, we're going to learn about Mill Street Station coming up at 7:27. Okay. And I'm going to have another sip of coffee.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Let's go out to the room.
Hot tip to Ainsley, we don't know. Just say it with conviction and we'll be like, oh, really? Wow.
Exactly. How's it feeling out there right now?
Pleasant. Honestly, after the weekend, anything would feel better than that. And this is going to be a beautiful day. It's going to continue to warm up, though, almost too much. I know I was going to say I hate to complain. No, you know there's nothing I love more than to complain about something. And I'm going to complain that tomorrow is going to warm up way too much. But today will be a pleasant way to kick off the week, especially coming off of that deep freeze. A beautiful day to get outside and enjoy. It's minus 12 right now. There's a bit of a breeze. It's out of the north-northeast, 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 82%. We will perhaps enjoy some sunshine. Can't even see it right now. Of course, it won't be rising till 8:20 we should get the day glow in advance of that. But the nice thing about today will be some breaks in those clouds and really pleasant temperatures as well. To about -10 is where we're headed today, which is normal for this time of year. And then we continue to rise into the evening overnight with the possibility of some precipitation this evening. Could show up as freezing rain. Tomorrow it continues to warm through the morning hours and we could get straight up showers, rain in December, but only momentarily because by tomorrow afternoon that temperature plummets. Will go from +5 to -8 and the showers will change to snow. It's going to get icy. It's going to get a little bit gross because of that huge temperature swing. So there's my complaint, Mother Nature. Take that.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Thank you, Terry. It's time now for a question of the day on this Monday morning. We're asking you to give a shout out to a person or organization making a difference in the community. You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing, and we want to see more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. Here's what it looks like outside now on the Putavache Bridge. It looks like things are moving well to start off this Monday morning. We're going to take a break here. We'll be right back.
When you give a child a winter coat, you give them the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside, because no child should be freezing cold. Donate to Coats for Kids. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
Good morning. Sick notes will soon be a thing of the past in Manitoba, and a new toolkit is now available to help employers and human resource teams manage workplace absences going forward.
This resource is going to give employers the practical tools that they need to adjust their policies and keep their workplaces running really well.
A scrap on sick notes was announced in last month's throne speech after a push from Doctors Manitoba over the past year. Under new guidelines, Manitobans won't need to visit a doctor to get a note for most health-related short-term absences from work. It's a move to help lighten the load on doctors.
Sick notes have grown to become a big issue here in Manitoba, with over 600,000 sick notes requested of physicians annually. That's over 1,500 sick notes each and every day. I wrote 2 this morning before driving here. That's a lot, but it's even bigger when you think about the cumulative time away from patient care to write all of those notes.
The new free toolkit available through the Doctors Manitoba website includes templates, forms, and other documents businesses and organizations can use to track and review absences. Legislation to prohibit sick notes is anticipated in the spring. Winnipeg police say a woman has been charged with arson after she allegedly lit a mattress on fire. Police say emergency crews were called Friday to an apartment building on Mayfair Place after a report of a fight and a fire in a unit. They allege one of the residents, a 31-year-old woman, pulled a fire alarm after setting a mattress on fire within her suite. This led to the building residents to temporarily evacuate. Police say they arrested her nearby and learned she had allegedly started the fire after a dispute with family members. The woman now faces arson-related charges and was released on an undertaking. None of the charges have been tested in court. A heartwarming holiday tradition is ongoing at the Rainbow District School Board in Northern Ontario.
It just makes my heart absolutely full, and I know it does with all the guys that work for us, and it's just the right thing to do.
Matt's Plumbing donated 300 turkeys to students across the city of Lively. This has been happening since 2019, with hundreds of turkeys being donated for holiday meals every year since. That's amazing. Here's a look at what's happening now at Kenniston and Sterling Lion Way. Looks like things are moving well here. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
Traffic is brought to you by the Children's Rehabilitation Foundation.
Some sad news for the entertainment world. Legendary director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer Reiner have been found dead in their home.
No, we do.
Put it up to 11.
11, exactly. One louder.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Los Angeles police are investigating the incident as an apparent homicide. Reiner rose to fame as Archie Bunker's son-in-law meathead on All in the Family. His work as a film director included the first mainstream mockumentary, This Is Spinal Tap. Rob Reiner was 78 and his wife Michelle was 68. The next member of the DC universe isn't a regular girl, she's a supergirl.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well for you guys.
The first trailer for next summer's Supergirl has just dropped. In the trailer, Kara Zor-El, also known as Supergirl, played by Millie Alcock, is celebrating her 23rd birthday, but soon has to step into her own as a hero. It's in theaters June 26th. A previous #1 made its way back to the top of the weekend box office.
We have to solve the case.
It's not worth dying for.
Deadline reports Zootopia 2 brought in another $26.3 million US across North America, returning to #1 in its third weekend. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 fell to second place with $19.5 million. And Wicked for Good is still flying high in third place with another $8.5 million in ticket sales. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 tonight with St. Denis Medical. Then at 7:30, it's The Big Bang Theory. At 8, watch The Voice. And at 10, it's Tracker. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
All right, looking now through the Bathfitter Live, iBathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. So eventually we'll start to see a little bit of daylight and a little bit of sunshine. That'll be nice to see. We did see moments of it over the weekend, but it was just too cold to really enjoy. Sundogs, that was more what we were seeing over the weekend. Today, we're back to seasonal temperatures, although actually this morning, our temperatures are above seasonal. So -20, where we had dropped to over the weekend, those would be normal lows. We are closer to that over in Brandon right now, sitting at -18, but many of us here in the southeastern part of the province, well above that this morning, just into those minus double digits or low minus teens. Moving into parts of northern Manitoba, there's the mid minus teens, and the further that you go into the north, low to mid or even high -20s. All of this before we're factoring in that wind, which will have a bit of a difference. It's feeling like -39 right now up in the Churchill area. Here in Winnipeg, that isn't really factoring in as far as the wind chill values go, although over in Brandon, we've got a wind chill value of -24. You might want those extra layers on this morning. It's still going to be a wintry day, but a pleasant wintry day with winds staying on the lighter side throughout. There's the breaks in the clouds that I'm talking about, enjoying a bit of sunshine as the day goes on. And as kids get settled into the classroom, the mercury starts to rise, -11 to -10. We might even go beyond that. It's certainly going to continue to warm up into the overnight hours, and with some precipitation by evening time, we might be seeing it in freezing rain form, only to see it change to showers by morning, getting to the freezing mark overnight, up to 5 degrees, +5 by tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon that temperature drops off to about -8, so showers changing back to flurries, intense winds, and the temperatures will be cooling after that, with slightly below temperatures expected this coming weekend. There's the sundogs that I was talking about. Yes, over the weekend they were spotted by many. Thanks to Debbie for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. Canadian budget retail store Dollarama has seen a major spike in sales, but Dollarama's gain is also a sign of the struggle many families face this holiday season as more Canadians struggle to put food on the table, chase down cheaper deals. CTV's Kamil Kermali looks at the shift in shopping habits.
Take a look at these prices.
It's cheaper.
Cheaper is right. Food, toiletries,
winter item and everything.
Even holiday goods. You're going here because why? Because it's
the cheaper. Yeah. Only that's the reason. Found
here at the Canadian budget retail store Dollarama for a fraction of what you might find at other stores.
The value. It's all about the value.
Lena Ricci finds herself shopping here more often these days.
I think I saved at least $15. Yeah.
It goes a long way.
It does. It goes a long way. I could spend it on my other groceries, like my meats.
And she's not alone.
Last year, Dollarama listed its third quarter sales at $1.5 billion. 1 year later, just this past quarter, that sales forecast soared to $1.9 billion. That's a 1-year increase of 22%.
It shows that consumers are suffering. It shows that consumers with modest incomes are hurting.
Since the pandemic, the cost of living has shot up. Rising inflation, interest rates, housing and food costs, combined with the U.S. trade war, creating the perfect storm.
In the third quarter, we actually did see household spending drop by 0.1%. That's the first time that household spending overall has fallen since 2021.
While budget retail chains like Dollarama have thrived, the company says opening more stores in Canada and Australia has increased profits, but analysts say so has depending on the cheap cost of goods from overseas.
We're not going to find very many products that are made in North America or Europe. They clearly specialize in things that they can buy at a relatively low price.
Pulling away from the Buy Canadian movement that was brought on by the trade war.
I'm trying to tighten the budget. We have a big family, you know, we're Italian, we eat a lot of food. And
as long as it puts food on the table this holiday season. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
We are live at the Manitoba Electrical Museum with Ainsley McPhail. Stay with us for more details on some of the history of electricity in Manitoba. Good morning. Every summer when the Goldeyes are playing, the ground they're standing on is actually linked to really cool history. And Ainsley, you're going to tell us a little bit more about that. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle, and I'm standing with one man of many who worked at that location, Mill Street Station. David White joins me. So take us back in time to, say, 94, 95, 96. What was it like working at Mill Street Station?
Mill Street was a very busy station at the time because the underground, the overhead, and our transmission division worked there. And it was the core area, the very busy area at one time, because there was factories there, Canada Packers were there, the Nutty Club was just down the street, Codville was there, and it was a very busy area for industry at the time. And now, of course, it's a baseball diamond. And a lot of the industry from that area is all gone. But Mill Street was started in 1909, and it was generating station for the trolley system for downtown Winnipeg. And at the time, it was basically the core area that they serviced. And the trolleys, wherever they ran, they were serviced by the Winnipeg Electric Company, a railway company that serviced that area. And what else can I tell you about? Mill Street was a very busy area for industry, of course, and a lot of people shopped down there. There was Ashdowns, there was different stores. So, and on Lombard, the Royal Bank was actually, underneath the Royal Bank was the stock exchange. So there was a lot of business people in the area.
Why is it so important to preserve this history?
Well, it basically built our province and our city. A lot of the electric that first came in was tied into the Manitoba Hydro system, Manitoba Power Commission. It was the first tie between the bigger companies into a smaller, to help Winnipeg grow. And it became a very busy station. And then as years went by, there were stations added all the way along, different substations to bring power into the city of Winnipeg.
Sorry to interrupt, we're just out of time, but it's something that we really take for granted every time we turn on a light.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to you.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Ainsley. And we are going to have a warm-up today.
Yes, finally. And I mean, I know it's not perfectly timed out. It's nice to have beautiful weather to enjoy over the weekend, but you managed to get through the weekend either way. Perhaps you were just holding up indoors. Perhaps you were out and about getting your errands done or getting the dog out for a walk. You endured, and I applaud you. We're now waking up to far more pleasant temperatures. The Forks is looking pretty, isn't it? All festive like that. Minus 12 is where we're sitting right now in Winnipeg. Barely a breeze. It's just a 5K wind out of the north-northeast, so minus 12 feels more like minus 15. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 82%. Even with that wind factored in, we're actually above seasonal. Normal lows would be around minus 20, so quite a mild start to your day today. And it's going to be a pleasant one, only to continue to warm up. But tomorrow's warm up there's going to be nothing pleasant about it at all. I promise you that, even though the numbers could fool you. Let's look first at the conditions. Right now, we're seeing some breaks in the clouds. We'll likely see a little bit of sunshine throughout the day today as we rise to about -10, maybe even somewhat beyond, because actually these temperatures will rise through the day to about -10, but then they continue to rise into the evening overnight hours up to the freezing mark. Now, there is a possibility of some precipitation this evening and maybe a bit of a rain-snow mix or some freezing rain, up to showers tomorrow as we continue to rise tomorrow morning to about +5. And then by tomorrow afternoon, that temperature is plummeting. We'll end up at about -8. The north winds will at times be gusting to 70 kilometers per hour. And that's why I say +5. There's going to be nothing pleasant about it. It's going to be wet and soggy through the mildest part of it, and then changing to snow, whipping sideways with those intense winds. And from there, these temperatures, they're kind of all over the map. We'll still stay fairly mild on Thursday, but then dipping below seasonal, rebounding somewhat as we're looking ahead to the coming weekend.
Hanukkah began last night, marking the start of Judaism's Festival of Lights. The holiday commemorates the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem nearly 2,200 years ago. Tradition holds that a small amount of oil burned for 8 days, a miracle remembered by lighting a menorah over 8 nights. Each evening at sundown, families light an additional candle, symbolizing hope and light in the darkness. The celebration comes amid global tensions and tragedy in Australia. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canadians stand in sorrow with the people of Australia and with Jewish people everywhere. Carney attended a menorah lighting in Ottawa. Floodwaters in Abbotsford, BC have started to recede, but there is more rain in the forecast, leaving many communities bracing for it to get worse before they get better.
Today they opened up so we could come and do a quick shop just in case it floods again tonight, because we don't know what's coming with the rain.
While conditions slowly improve, officials are warning that things could change quickly. BC's Emergency Management Minister says flood and landslide risks in parts of the province will increase with more stormy weather today. Rainfall warnings are in place across the Fraser Valley. Officials say areas that were hit hard by cross-border flooding last week can expect the new system to bring significant rain of up to 80 millimeters. The heaviest downpours are expected today. Libraries across Canada say a proposed change in the federal budget could end their ability to ship books at reduced rates.
It is millions of Canadians, literally, across the country that rely on that library book rate in order to receive materials.
It removes a clause in Canada Post legislation giving reduced postage rates for books and other materials mailed between libraries or to library users. This has the Canadian Urban Library Council sounding the alarm. The proposed changes in the budget won't necessarily kill the program. However, it will allow Canada Post to make changes with less oversight. In a statement, Canada Post says it's not currently considering changes to the library discount program. Meanwhile, the government says the proposed changes are made to eliminate administrative burdens. A person of interest detained after a mass shooting at Brown University on Saturday has now been released.
Our investigation into this horrific act remains ongoing. It has been ongoing.
Officials say the investigation took police in a, quote, different direction. That means whoever's behind the shooting that killed 2 people and injured 9 others at the university is still at large. Authorities have not disclosed a possible motive. There have been 392 mass shootings in the U.S. this year, according to the Gun Violence Archive. Looking ahead to springtime, the province is predicting a normal to below normal runoff when the melt gets underway. The fall report from the Hydrological Forecast Center is largely based on 2 factors: soil moisture and water levels at freeze up. For most regions of the province, the report says both measurements are below normal. It adds both Lake Manitoba and Lake Winnipeg are at historical low levels right now, meaning both have plenty of room to receive the spring runoff. However, researchers say the major factor still to be determined is how much precipitation we will receive during winter. A group of volunteers delivered care and warmth to unsheltered and vulnerable community members on Sunday. The annual holiday walk by Urban Wagons delivered hot meals, winter clothing, care packages, and social interaction. The group's director, Lisa Moran, says the group has been hearing from people saying that the shelters are completely filled. Several people picked up the care packages even before the walk officially started, and she described the moment as both purposeful and sad.
We should be able to do more for people who are challenged by shelter. It's sad in a way to see them come up knowing that they need blankets or hats or gloves. We see the frostbite on their fingers. So there needs to be more action, I guess, done with official agencies.
For winter, the group is looking for jackets and men's socks and any type of food. More information is available on their website, urbanwagons.ca. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on McPhillips. The northbound curb lane will be closed between Elgin and Winnipeg. The northbound median lane on Edmonton will be closed between Broadway and Graham. And the southbound curb lane on Yonge will be closed between Sargent and Ellis following the rush. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us at 10400. Here's a look at your gas prices now. The Canadian average is $1.25. The provincial average is quite a bit lower at $1.12. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.10, and the lowest price in the city is $1.02 a liter. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Right now we're sitting at minus 12 degrees with mainly cloudy skies. We're taking a quick break here. We'll be back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Waking up to minus 12, looking so pretty down at the Forks. If you're headed outside, throw an extra layer on, but not too many. It's so pleasant, and the winds are very light. They're out of the north-northeast this morning, just 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, and the humidity is sitting at 82%. We've got an above-seasonal start to the day. This is coming off that deep freeze of a weekend, and everything is going to be far more pleasant for today. And enjoy it, because while it continues to warm up for tomorrow, there will be nothing pleasant about what the next day has in store. So today, enjoy the breaks in the clouds that'll let a little bit of sunshine through, and fairly pleasant temperatures today. A little bit colder up through northern Manitoba, mid to high minus teens, or even some low minus 20s. And with those heavier clouds, there might even be a little bit of scattered precipitation in around the Thompson area. You might notice that, Lynn Lake as well. But these temperatures, they're close to seasonal, might be just slightly shy of what is normal for this time of year in some places. But for the most part, minus 10 is a normal daytime high here through southern Manitoba, and many of us will be very close to that with those breaks in the clouds today. Up around Swan River, you might experience a little bit of that passing precipitation through central Manitoba. Most of us here through the south will be enjoying the breaks in the clouds, letting some sunshine through, enjoying pleasant seasonal temperatures and light winds. So like I said, everything about today will be pretty spectacular, especially compared to the weekend when we were stuck in the deep freeze. But wait for it. The temperatures will rise to seasonal for today, but then they continue to warm up overnight, and some precipitation on the way tonight could show up in freezing rain form, and changing to showers for tomorrow as we continue to rise through the morning to about +5 before the temperatures drop off tomorrow afternoon. North winds tomorrow up to 70 kilometers per hour is going to that wind, it's going to be so nasty. There will be nothing pleasant about that 5 degrees, I promise you that, with some rain that then changed to sideways snow. And after that, these temperatures kind of all over the map will be fluctuating a little bit on either side of what is normal for this time of year, but a little more sunshine waiting for us this weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Manitoba Electrical Museum. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. We're learning a little bit about history and some things that one might think is newer, myself included. But when it comes to electric vehicles, they've been around for longer than people think. James Hart joins us, the president of Manitoba Electrical Vehicle Association. That's not as much of a mouthful as I made it sound. James, tell us a little bit about that.
So electric vehicles have actually been around since the late 1800s, early 1900s. Baker Electric, Detroit Electric have been around. Great vehicles. Before the gas vehicles, Henry Ford's wife even drove a Detroit Electric just because they were a lot safer. They were called the women's vehicles, but they were a lot more reliable and safer back then. And now we bring them back. Early 2000s, 2010, they came back as the great environmental vehicles, and they're just awesome vehicles in the winter. always starts up, minus 20, minus 30. Doesn't matter if it's in a garage or outside. It always starts up.
Tell us about the association. You guys have been around for 15 years?
Yeah, we've been around for over 15 years, helping promote the electrification of transportation in all its forms across Manitoba. So whether that's electric bikes or electric Tundra buggies up north, it's great vehicles.
And you guys, obviously, you have this gorgeous little tree here at the Electrical Museum. Why do you want to do that partnership?
With the Electrical Museum, it's been a great partnership. Again, electric vehicles aren't new, so showing within a museum that we've been around for a while, and it's this partnership that they give us great space to have our meetings and showcase the different vehicles that Manitoba offers.
Manitoba Electricity, past, present, and future. Coming up at 8:06, we're learning about hydro on the water. Stay with us.
Thank you, Ainsley. The University of Calgary hosted its Found in Space event on Saturday. The event featured several exhibits regarding the institution's contribution to space. Former astronaut Robert Thirsk was there too, hoping to inspire the next generation of space explorers. Tyler Barrow reports.
Asteroids built to scale in comparison to the Calgary Tower, a model of a satellite University of Calgary students have constructed heading to space, and 3D printed mini rovers.
Canadians have been making a strong impact to space science and our understanding of the history of habitability on Mars.
The exhibit also shows samples of Mars-like water found in Western Canada, while Christian Keenan and his classmates are showcasing 3D printed astronauts and satellites.
It's important that the public starts to get interested in this stuff because it is really cool.
The exhibits are part of U of C's Found in Space event, showcasing the school's impact that goes outside Earth and explores the future of space research and space weather.
We are like the top 5 research institutions now in Canada, and space is really part of that.
Bates says the school receives the most funding from the Canadian Space Agency, as well as strong financial support from NASA. Former astronaut Robert Thirsk attended. He graduated from the U of C in 1976 in mechanical engineering. He's helping shed light on the work his former school is doing.
The University of Calgary has a distinguished history in space science. We're the world leaders in terms of this phenomenon called space weather.
Thirsk went to space twice, first in 1996 and again in 2009. His focus now, helping others reach their potential.
Put a solid science and engineering education under their dreams, and then get the support from others to help realize those dreams. That's important to me now.
As some here carry that same dream.
It would just mean the world to me because it's been a lifelong passion and dream of mine.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy birthday, Kason, from Mom, Dad, and your siblings, especially your cat, Smokey. Happy 6th birthday, Logan, love from Mom, Dad, and Noik. Happy 10th birthday, Kaylin, love from Mom, Dad, Rowan, Noodles, Cece, Oakley, and Niffler. And a happy 6th birthday to Mira, with love from Mommy and Daddy. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca. Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
It's going to be a pleasant day today, headed to a very seasonal high of -10. Yes, that's normal for this time of year. It's been a while since we talked about seasonal temperatures. Last year, we were well above that. We actually had this drastic swing. We were up around the freezing mark last year. Of course, the record was 5.7. That was set back in 1997. Well, tomorrow, we could head to 5 degrees. Not long, briefly, we could hit that number, but I promise you there will be nothing pleasant if we do, in fact, hit that. And that's because tomorrow, well, we'll get to tomorrow. Let's get through today first, shall we? Pleasant out here right now. There will be some breaks in the clouds, letting a little bit of sunshine through. And unlike the weekend when we dealt with bitterly cold temperatures and those intense winds, today the winds winds are light and the temperatures really pleasant as well. We are above seasonal to begin the day at -12 with a north-northeast wind 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 82%. So once the sun rises, that won't happen until about 8:20, but we will start to see some breaks in those clouds and moments of sunshine today. Temperatures rising to a seasonal -10, but then it continues to warm up overnight, and with some precipitation coming tonight, it could be showing up as freezing rain as we rise to the freezing mark in the overnight hours. Continue to warm up tomorrow to +5, getting close to what would have otherwise been a record breaker today. So +5 tomorrow morning, but it comes with some intense winds out of the northwest through the afternoon. They'll be up to 70 kilometers per hour, driving that temperature down through the afternoon. +5 will end up at about -8, and that rain that we could see tomorrow morning after the freezing rain overnight will change to sideways snow whipping around, intense winds, taking those temperatures down and creating some nasty conditions.
Thank you, Terry. Go play outside. Let's go to the beach today, or even I'm ready to take a hike. These are all mantras many of us have grown up with and still practice today. Research shows that outdoor activity is good for our bodies and our mental health, but there are some people who might not feel safe or even welcome to enjoy outdoor leisure. A new book titled Inclusion and Equity in Outdoor Leisure is taking a look at why some may not feel safe enough to have fun outside. Joining us now is U of M Faculty of Kinesiology and Recreation Management Assistant Professor and co-editor of the book, Mandy Baker. Good morning, Mandy.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, what led you down this path? Why did you want to write this book?
Well, I have a background in doing research in outdoor recreation and summer camps.
Okay.
And as I was doing that, some things that just sort of surfaced I wasn't looking for surprised me. So, for example, an interview participant said to me, "Oh, summer camp's a white kid sport." Or why would you send your kids away and pay for them to sleep in a bag? And it was one of these moments where I had a real, oh, hey, this is a cultural institution that I took for granted growing up in Canada. Now I was doing my studies in Australia, and Australia doesn't do summer camp quite the same way. And so I found myself explaining this phenomenon to people that had just never really taken it for granted the way North Americans do.
Okay.
So it raised this question of who feels welcome here? Who feels like they belong? Who feels that they have the right to be in camps? And then that led to outdoor recreation, outdoor education, and outdoor leisure as a broad concept that covers all these different fields.
And that could be anything from going for a hike or cross-country skiing, or even just going swimming at a lake somewhere.
Absolutely. I even think about some of my Muslim friends going down to the local provincial parks, usually to have campfires and to cook meals together and have very social gatherings, and finding dogs off lead. And for a number of Muslim people, it's considered inappropriate or dirty to pet dogs. So to be able to find spaces in nature where they can feel safe and at ease and not have to contemplate or navigate these cultural differences becomes a thing. And the more I dug into it, the more I learned about these things. I have some great friends that have contributed to this book. And as an example, one woman leads what we call fat people hiking, or fat girl hiking.
Okay.
It's become a bit of a social movement of fat acceptance and body positivity. And she had posted on social media looking for a harness for large bodies to be able to go rock climbing and do high ropes courses. Harnesses are based on a particular notion that the waist is going to be smaller than the hips. That's what keeps you safe. And she couldn't find harnesses that were going to fit body shapes that didn't work that way.
Wow.
And when I saw that, I thought, hey, you know what? We really need to get this conversation up to a surface where manufacturers that make apparel and equipment understand this need and this passion for the outdoors, that it isn't just one body type.
Even the way it's advertised is geared just for one demographic.
Absolutely. What we know, the more we dig into looking back through marketing, but also all the research, is largely that outdoor activity, especially adventure activity, is geared towards white men who are able-bodied and usually of a particular lean body type. And if you think back through some of the advertising that you can see from a number of different retailers, it's only in the last 10 or 15 years that we start to see people of color included in that.
That's
but
incredible.
Our history in Canada is that people of color have been in the outdoors and instrumental to fur trade and the making of this country, let alone just the enjoyment and pleasure of being in the woods.
That's incredible. Okay, let's talk about some of the solutions that are addressed here.
Well, it's complicated, as are all social problems, and it's very much about navigating the ins and outs of those constraints and difficulties. But some of them are starting by accepting that people are diverse, and when you see a fellow hiker or a friend going out on the trails, respecting that they're engaging the way they want to. Like I said, another person who inspired this book talked about being an avid hiker with a larger woman's body and having people saying things like, good for you, when she was probably the more experienced of the hiking parties in the woods.
Mind your words, indeed. Okay, well, this book is going to be launched virtually tomorrow, so if you're interested in checking it out for yourself, we have a link on our website. Thanks, Mandy.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Nikki Race with you from the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. For that, we'll head to Jacksonville. Jets and Jaguars second quarter. Brady Cook's pass is picked off by Montreal Brown, but you need to see this again. Brown lays out to make the grab and still manages to maintain possession. One of the best interceptions you'll see this season as Brown earns your must-see moment from Sunday. And tonight on TSN, we've got Tangerine Raptors basketball against the Heat. Plus, we've got the Monday night football game between the Dolphins and Steelers. The action begins at 6 p.m. Eastern across the TSN network. That's all from the SC Newsroom. Have a great day.
And Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds, helping your home get holiday ready with Blinds by Hunter Douglas.
It's Monday, December 15th. Today morning in Australia, hundreds gather at a growing memorial to honor victims of a deadly attack. Plus, longer care waits. New survey shows patients facing months-long delays between doctor referrals and treatment. And brewing for a good cause. Sip, smile, and give back as holiday drinks raise money for Toy Mountain. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. The Little Opera Company is putting on a special holiday treat this season. It's called The House Without a Christmas Tree. We're going to find out more about the show, what inspired the story, and maybe a sneak peek as well. We'll have those details. But the weather, it's warming up.
Finally, I mean, the weekend,
it was not pleasant.
It was painful, right? The intense, bitter temperatures, those winds.
Yeah.
None of that for today. We've got a nice break for the weather. So waking up right now and it's minus 12 and it's starting to look a little bit brighter. We're still about 20 minutes away from sunrise. Well, just less than. 8:20 is when that sun officially begins to rise, but you can see it is looking a little bit brighter now. North-northeast winds, they're on the lighter side, just 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 82%. Even with that wind factored in, I mean, it's such a light breeze, but minus 15 as our wind chill value. That is already above a seasonal low temperature. Normal lows would be about minus 20. So all things considering, we're winning on this Monday morning. And the breaks in the clouds just mean we'll get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine as well. As we look at the futurecast, you'll see how it plays out. There is the possibility of some scattered precipitation moving through central Manitoba, but then quite clear through southern Manitoba, enjoying some sunshine today. However, northern Manitoba, bit of a different story. You're going to be seeing some snow passing through and some precipitation moving through into the evening. And so this is around 10 p.m., maybe starting around 9. It's going to be so warm by then that we're going to start to see it maybe as freezing rain. And then that passes through tomorrow morning on the drier side. The temperatures continue to warm up overnight and through tomorrow morning. And the next round of precipitation could be as rain. Not for long, though. There's snow right behind it. We'll see those temperatures rising into the plus digits tomorrow morning, starkly dropping off to about minus 8 through the day. So that shower activity changing to snow coming at you sideways. The winds tomorrow, they're actually going to start out of the south. They will get strong and gusty, but then they're going to shift out of the northwest up to 70 kilometers per hour, but those winds will be gusting too, and that's going to take plus 5 down to minus 8. So enjoy today, pleasant and seasonal, even a little bit of sunshine. Tomorrow's going to be gross, then it gets a little bit cool, or fluctuating after that. I mean, Wednesday is still looking not too bad with some scattered snow, but you'll see a big drop off by Thursday, and then those more seasonal temperatures with some sunshine waiting for us this weekend. And our art today is all thanks to 14-year-old Livia. What a talent you are. Thanks for sharing this with us. Keep the art coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
A moment of bravery during the shooting was caught on camera. We do have a warning. This is dramatic footage, and it may be hard to watch for some viewers. This man, now identified as Ahmed Al-Ahmed, can be seen tackling one of the gunmen who was holding a rifle. You can see him pull the weapon from the shooter's hands and then point it back at him. Ahmed is a 43-year-old fruit shop owner and father of two. He remains in hospital today, suffering from several bullet wounds to his arm and hand. He's being hailed as a hero, recognized for running toward danger to help others. The victims include a 10-year-old girl, a British-born rabbi, a retired police officer, and a Holocaust survivor. Hundreds of people have been coming out to lay flowers and pay tribute to those who lost their lives at this memorial growing at Bondi Pavilion. This was the deadliest shooting in almost 3 decades in Australia.
This is about taking the light and spreading it today across our country and through generations, so that this is the last generation that has to struggle against hate.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canadians stand in sorrow with the people of Australia and Jewish people everywhere. Carney attended a menorah lighting ceremony in Ottawa where he reiterated his support for the Jewish community. King Charles also shared a statement reading in part, "Our hearts go out to everyone who has been affected so dreadfully. We commend the police, emergency services, and members of the public whose heroic actions no doubt prevented even greater horror and tragedy." If you rely on transit late at night, there are some changes you'll want to know about.
Because sometimes I do have late classes and sometimes we go out with friends, so it might be good like if they have late buses, so yeah.
With the winter schedule launching Sunday, several updates to the new transit system are now in effect. All on-request zones currently operating after 7 p.m. now have extended service to about 2 a.m. on weekdays and Saturdays. On Sundays and holidays, they'll operate until about 12:45 a.m. Additionally, boundaries for Zone 103 were adjusted so people can take on-request rides to Garden City Shopping Centre and Walmart. Several routes were also adjusted and some new buses added following complaints of buses being late and over capacity. Your next cup of coffee or tea could help support Toy Mountain. A local coffee chain, Colosimo Coffee Roasters, collabed up with our friends at 103.1 Virgin Radio to offer 2 holiday drinks, the London Nog and Earl Grey with eggnog, and the Coffee Fay Latte inspired by Toffee Fay candy, with proceeds going to Toy Mountain. The drinks are available until Saturday at Colosimo's 4 Winnipeg locations. Details and locations are available at colosimocoffee.com. Here's a look at traffic along the St. James Bridge right now. It looks like things are moving well here. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see problems, let us know, please.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Let's go down to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Manitoba Electrical Museum. We're learning all about the history of electricity in this province, but we're also going to learn about how waterways have played a role in that as well. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Now, our next guest, Dennis Windsor, I don't think it's fair to ask him to speak for 2.5 minutes because my jaw is on the floor listening to some of the anecdotes I'm hearing before we've even hit the air. But right now, we're talking about Manitoba Hydro and patrolling the northern waterways. Dennis, what does that look like?
The Northern Waterway Patrol is intended to make the waterways that Manitoba Hydro uses in northern Manitoba safe for the ongoing uses of local people, particularly traditional use such as fishing and trapping and berry picking and hunting for medicinal plants. These people have been doing this for generations, and just because Manitoba Hydro is using the water to produce electricity, it still should be safe for the people.
And these individuals are patrolling their own land as well.
These people are patrolling their own land. They're seasonally employed by Manitoba Hydro. They're all Indigenous people. And part of the process is for them to use their traditional knowledge along with modern technology to make safe waterways. They mark reefs and rocks, they clear debris, they do shoreline stabilization, they do some safe boating, and they also help people who might have problems with their outboard motor stalling or a boat hitting a rock and getting a hole in it or something. They do rescues and maintenance as well. In the wintertime, they investigate and put up safety markers on the ice roads where there's thin ice and help out the winter ice road program as well.
Do you think that this is something that the average Winnipegger, for instance, would not know?
This is not well advertised, so most Winnipeggers aren't aware of this, and it does occur in the north, but it's very much necessary in order to maintain activities. After all, the rivers are the highways of the north, and we all share the water.
That's so fascinating. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Who knew that I need to have more coffees with environmental scientists who are retired in Manitoba?
There you go.
The things
You're
you
learning
learn,
a lot.
Michelle.
Exactly.
Back to you.
Thank you, Ainsley. A special day for hundreds of families across Canada. Some deserving children got a new toy and a break from their hospital routine. CTV's Josh Morano has more.
Inside the Toys R Us in Nepean, Poppy Roy Smith is making the most of a once-a-year opportunity. Yay! Her family is one of nearly 50, picking up new toys hours before the doors open to the public.
You don't really know what to expect, and then you get in here, they're like, oh, here's a little gift baggie, here's a $50 gift certificate, please go get your face painted. Like, they just offer so many special things.
It's really nice to be able to obviously come in here where it's like less chaotic and around like like-minded individuals.
Toys R Us and Starlight Children's Foundation Canada once again partnering to give kids living with serious illnesses a $50 gift card to choose their own gifts and meet some of their favorite superheroes, princesses, and even Santa Claus.
A lot of these families, their day-to-day is hospitals. It's a lot of hardships, and you know, this is just a time for them to come around, smile, have that time with their families, and again, just be free.
Everybody doesn't get to go shopping sometimes because they have a disability, right? So this is a good opportunity for everybody to just get out and pick something that they've never had.
Jordan Ahi is back for another year, and he's not just buying for himself.
I've been donating to Toy Mountain too right now because I don't want anybody to miss out on anything.
For families like Poppy's, the hustle and bustle of holiday shopping can be challenging, so they say they're grateful to have this opportunity.
There's like a lot of loud noises and like a lot of things that we just can't control, obviously. So it's really nice to be able to come in here where it's like, you know, more relaxing for him and like a more enjoyable experience.
Shopping with kids like Poppy is not the easiest task always, especially when stores are really busy and you're trying to navigate with, you know, big strollers and wheelchairs and everything. So I mean, having stuff like this, it just gives you a warm, fuzzy hug.
Josh Morano, CTV News.
And looking now through the Bath Fitter Live Eye, Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. So it is brighter out there now, but you can see we've got a few extra clouds hanging around. We might see those clouds breaking up a little bit, letting some sunshine through. It'll be nice when it eventually happens to see some sunshine today and to get some pleasant temperatures along with it. Coming off of that deep freeze of a weekend, there was nothing pleasant about it. Today will be the day that you can actually get outside and enjoy. And do enjoy it, because tomorrow will certainly not be that day. We're sitting right now at -11, starting to warm up already from last hour when we were at -12. Even Brandon was at -18 and is now sitting at -17. Moving up into parts of northern Manitoba, we're seeing those mid-minus teens, or further into the north, you're seeing those mid to high -20s. Now, these are your actual temperatures before we're factoring in the winds, but thankfully the winds have actually stayed on the lighter side, so the wind chill values aren't too intense. Feels like -18 here in Winnipeg, but a normal low would be -20. So even with that wind factored in, we're still above seasonal. And up into northern Manitoba, that's where you'll need to bundle up. Minus 38 is what it's feeling like up in and around the Churchill area. There's the breaks in the clouds, hoping that we'll see some of that sunshine at times throughout the day today, with the temperatures slowly and steadily rising to a more seasonal high today of minus 10. That'll be as kids are settling through the lunch hour and coming home from school. Then it continues to warm up overnight. We'll get close to the freezing mark. Chance of precipitation overnight as we rise to the freezing mark could start to show up as freezing rain, but tomorrow up to 5 degrees with some showers changing to flurries because those temperatures won't stay at 5 degrees, dropping to about minus 8 through the afternoon. Intense north winds driving those temperatures down. Sideways snow. It's going to be nasty for tomorrow. I know plus 5 looks mild. Don't be fooled. It's not going to be a pleasant day, but it will improve as we continue through the week, seeing more sunshine by the weekend. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Home sales in Canada were down almost 11% in November compared to the same time last year. The Canadian Real Estate Association says the number of homes sold dropped 10.7%. Month over month, home sales were down 0.6%. New listings dropped 1.6%. Now, the CREA says trade tensions with the U.S. continue to weigh heavily on potential buyers. Gold is nearing a fresh record, fueled by doubts about technology stocks and U.S. borrowing costs. Bullion climbed as much as 1.2% and is in its longest winning streak since the run-up to an all-time high back in October. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
The Little Opera Company has a special holiday production this season. It's titled The House Without a Christmas Tree. Joining us now to tell us more about the show is the director, Rob Harriet. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be here.
Talk about the Little Opera Company. Tell us the history and its impact in this community.
You know, Little Opera Company was born, I think, around 1995, and it served, its purpose was to fill in where the larger opera company wouldn't serve younger singers.
Okay.
So what it did was give a platform for young developing singers to perform and get opportunity.
And it's been around since 1995.
I believe so, yeah.
It's been doing this whole time, just helping to mold the future opera singers.
Yeah, and it worked. I mean, they went on, a lot of the singers went on to the Met, La Scala. So it's really been important to give singers an opportunity.
It really helps to shape them and guide them into the future. Okay, well, let's talk about, that's amazing. That's a great historical story.
Fantastic.
And let's talk about this show. Tell us a little bit about what's happening in the, it's titled The House Without a Christmas Tree. What's happening in this story?
It's, you know, it's a very quaint, beautiful story about the power of Christmas, really.
Okay.
It's two-sided in a way that Christmas can sometimes bring out the bad,
sadness.
things, like, you know, people who are grieving, for example, find Christmas very difficult because it's a reminder of loss. And in this story, definitely that is one element. But on the other side, it, in the end, is a very healing time. And so it emphasizes the healing power of Christmas and how that's a very real thing and very important.
And it involves the story of a child, right?
Child who is born, mother dies after childbirth. She doesn't know it. The father is grieving this loss and doesn't want a reminder, therefore will not bring a Christmas tree into the house. The child desperately wants a tree and in the end gets the tree because the father realizes that there needs to be healing.
That is beautiful. And this is
it's beautiful.
It's a musical, it's an opera, of course.
It's, you know, this composer and librettist, they were very their skill was to create an opera that was both a musical and an opera, so extremely melodic and audibly, you know, successful.
Right.
Yeah.
And the venue itself is fabulous as well. Tell us about that.
This theater at the University of Manitoba is probably one of the best in the city.
It's happening at the Des Hôtels Concert Hall at the University of Manitoba.
Yep. And it's, I mean, I love the staff there, but the theater itself is beautiful, but the acoustic is pretty much perfect. So it's an easy place to perform an opera.
A wonderful holiday treat to enjoy indeed. The show runs from December 17th to the 19th at the Des Hôtels Concert Hall at the University of Manitoba, and there are still tickets available.
Absolutely.
Okay, and if you want more information, we have a link on our website. Thanks, Rob.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
The sun rising as we speak, but I am seeing some pretty heavy clouds hanging over us at this time anyway, so we're not going to see that sun first thing this morning, but we can still enjoy these very pleasant and mild above seasonal temperatures, especially after the weekend. Oh, that was so nasty. So take today and let's express a moment of gratitude for the more pleasant weather. -11 is where we're sitting right now. The breeze is on the lighter side. It's 15 clicks out of the north, making that -11 feel like -18. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 79%. These clouds aren't likely to last. They'll probably break up somewhat through the day today. Moments of sunshine, that's what we can expect, with the temperatures still on the rise, not by much, but we'll make it to the seasonal -10, and then it actually continues to warm up overnight. And that's when things are going to really start to get a little bit dicey, because with that warm up coming tonight, some precipitation will be moving through that might show up as freezing rain, but it continues to warm up through tomorrow morning. It will go from about the freezing mark overnight to +5 tomorrow morning. That will come with the freezing rain changing to showers, and then it's going to get nasty because these winds are going to be shifting. They're out of the south today and overnight, but tomorrow the winds out of the northwest up to 70 kilometers per hour. That is an intense wind, driving those temperatures back down again, changing to showers, back to sideways snow. It's going to get blustery. It's going to get cold. It's going to be unpleasant. Everything that melts will change to ice, so things will be dicey out on the roads as well. And those intense winds will certainly make nothing pleasant about tomorrow. It will get a little bit better as we look through the latter part of the week. A beautiful shot taken of the sundogs in that frigid weekend. Thanks to Debbie for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Weather brought to you by the Winnipeg Humane Society. From all the dogs, cats, and critters, thank you for your kindness.
We all know just how cold Manitoba winters can be. Imagine not having a winter coat, boots, a toque, or mitts, and stepping out into the cold. That's the reality for many kids. But you can change that. Give the gift of warmth. Donate to Coats for Kids.
We're at St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center, and it's one of my favorite times of the year, the holiday season. Carla, please tell us what we're talking about, because I'm looking at a wreath, but it's not on a door.
Well, wreaths always have that sort of classic thought of being hung on a wall or a door for an entranceway. And we do have a large collection of them. But it's like the angel on top of the tree. Sometimes she likes to come and be somewhere else.
Yes.
So I'm going to show you that you could take applications, and some of the ones that we're going to show you are real or not real. Mm-hmm. So real or not real?
I don't think this one's real.
This one is real.
What?
This is a fresh eucalyptus.
Oh my goodness.
Red wreath that's on it. Traditionally, you can leave it by that. It looks stunning by itself. But if you can take them, and the elevation of the ones that I'm going to show you is you can do that as a centerpiece.
It's beautiful.
Or as an accent. And by taking different elements that's in through here, like we just popped the little snowman, but there's different ways that you can put in. And the one structure that I want to say is when you're doing something like this, depends on the height you want to go. So if I want a cake plate, I'm going to raise it up so that I have more room underneath. Mm-hmm. There's so many cake plates out there that are underused, right? And then use elements of heights and textures to give you a little bit of oompa. Now, these are definitely artificial. So if you're looking for ones, there's ones that are glitzy, and every time you move one to another, whether it's a berry or a green, or if it's a berry one, you can actually layer it and put one on top of a green base just to give it an upper scale. Now come down this way with me. Now, real or not real?
Not real.
It's art. It's everlasting.
Artificial.
Everlasting. We call it everlasting.
Everlasting. I like that. Okay.
But feel it. Feel it.
Oh no, that's authentic.
That's
no authentic feeling.
It's authentic feel.
That's the point.
Yeah. So this is called the real feel, and what's really trendy is the cedar mixed with the Norfolk pine. It gives you that drippiness. Now, if I had this elevated on a cake plate, it would have even more of a little bit of drippiness. Yeah. And this is where, if you want to visit all the silks and everything, by placing in some of the silks into your areas, I'm just doing this fast, so I would be putting it in a little bit more. Whoops. And again, accenting it. And there's a cute little candle on top. By bringing out your candle holders and pairing it with something else. Now, we're going to slide down. This one, too. It has a little bit more drippiness, but it's a faux one that's on it. All right? But here, okay, this is everything from traditional red to going into the faux, artificial, or real?
I think it's real.
It's real, and you can smell it.
Yeah, I think that's why.
You can go through, but the different textures and layerings. Again, this took me less than, I think Kenny was going, okay, set up. It looked me something that I have that I can elevate it, use your candles, and create something interesting for the home. And it's easy to remove from a table too, so if you have to have it in the dining room and you move it somewhere else, or there might be a hook on the wall that you might want to quickly put it on the wall.
You know what though, Carla? I want to put desserts in this one too.
And don't forget, like, you can put a cake plate and put food over above it.
I know.
It works. It works.
Get Growing is brought to you by St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Get a lush yard and garden thanks to expert advice from gardening professionals. Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
A pleasant start to your morning and a really nice change up after that frigid weekend. It's -11 right now. It does feel like -18, but even that wind chill value, that is above a seasonal low temperature. Normal lows this time of year would be about -20, so we're doing okay, all things considering. There's a bit of a breeze. It's out of the north. It's 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 79%. We do have a few extra clouds hanging around for now, but they're not likely to last. They'll be clearing out, and with them, a little bit of sunshine to enjoy today, and the temperatures pleasant overall. Not a shocking warm up, but compared to the weekend, it will be almost shocking. I mean, the weekend was spent in the deep freeze with low to mid -20s as the high temperatures, and then those winds were so nasty. Today, the temperatures are back to seasonal. The winds staying pleasant. Out of the south, they'll be about 15 kilometers per hour. And like I said, moments of sunshine throughout the day today. Now, this evening, things will start to change. Not only will the temperature continue to rise up to the freezing mark in the overnight hours, but the winds get a little bit stronger out of the south, at times gusting to 50 kilometers per hour, and precipitation that could come through with the temperatures on the rise might show up as freezing rain, changing to showers throughout tomorrow morning because the temperatures continue to heat up. 5 degrees, that's a +5 for December, late December. So that's a bit of a shocking warm up. The winds are going to be shifting out of the southwest for the morning hours, but by the afternoon out of the northwest. Up to 70 kilometers per hour, driving that temperature down. We won't stay at +5. We'll end up at about -8 through the afternoon, and showers will change to sideways snow. Things will get a little bit blustery and unpleasant. Then Wednesday's looking a little bit better at -4, but you can see the temperatures dropping off after that. A little more sunshine waiting for us this coming weekend.
Winnipeg police have arrested several people for alleged retail theft, with 2 of them named on the Winnipeg Crime Stoppers retail theft wanted list. Police say around 4:30 p.m. on Thursday, a 36-year-old woman was arrested for an alleged theft from a store in the 1500 block of Regent Avenue West near Kildonan Place. They say she entered the store around 2:15, which was an alleged violation of her release order. Then the woman picked clothes and left without paying. Police also say on Friday they arrested 2 men listed on the Winnipeg Crime Stoppers retail theft wanted list in the 700 block of Burroughs Avenue. Officers found a 60-year-old man from the list during a traffic stop. He was arrested for 5 outstanding warrants, and during the arrest, police say they found a gram of fentanyl and the same amount of cocaine. He was detained in custody. Police say about an hour later, a 49-year-old man allegedly stole items from a store in the Polo Park area. He was also listed as one of the top 10 wanted individuals. The man was arrested on the strength of 4 warrants and faces a new charge of theft under $5,000. All 3 were detained in custody, and none of the charges have been proven in court. Looking ahead to springtime, the province is predicting a normal to below normal runoff when the melt gets underway. The fall report from the Hydrological Forecast Center is largely based on 2 factors: soil moisture and water levels at freeze up. For most regions of the province, the report says both measurements are below normal. It adds both Lake Manitoba and Lake Winnipeg are at historically low levels right now, meaning both have plenty of room to receive the spring runoff. However, researchers say the major factor still to be determined is how much precipitation we will receive during the winter. Every day, stacks of library books are exchanged across the country at a discounted rate by Canada Post. But whether that program remains in the new year has turned into a real page turner. CTV's Garrett Berry reports.
Among all of the holiday packages that Canada Post will be delivering across the country this year are library books, lots of them. About 30,000 or so are transported every month with the help of a long-running discount program for libraries.
It is millions of Canadians, literally, across the country that rely on that library book rate in order to receive materials.
Proposed changes to the Canada Post Act contained in the fall budget bill won't necessarily kill the program, but it will allow Canada Post to change it and change the rates with less government oversight. That's a scary thought for the Canadian Urban Libraries Council.
You know, the devil's always in the details, right? What does that really mean? So we are still going to be advocating that we want this at a legislative level. We want this approval to stay at that level.
Say I wanted to send a copy of Christopher Paolini's Inheritance through the mail. It's a pretty hefty book, almost 3 pounds. But between two libraries in Toronto, this shipment would only cost less than $2. Without this program, it would cost about $26.
In Newfoundland and Labrador, at last count, nearly 200,000 interlibrary loans take place every year, most of those with the help of this discount program. St. John's resident David Brake says he fears for other library programs if the Provincial Library Board suddenly has to start paying more for shipping because Canada Post decides to increase rates.
Unless their hands are tied by the legislation as it is now, there's always going to be that temptation to save a few bucks.
In a statement, Canada Post said it wasn't currently considering any changes to the library discount program. A government spokesperson said it expects the program to continue too, but explained the proposed changes were made to eliminate administrative burdens. Garrett Perry, CTV News, St. John's.
Here's a look at what's happening now on Osborne Street. It looks like things are still moving quite well over in this part of the city. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. Let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.25. The provincial average is lower at $1.12. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.10, and the lowest price in the city is $1.02 a liter. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
On this Monday morning, we're asking you to give a shout out to a person or organization making a difference in the community. Craig is recognizing Bruce Oak's Snow Angels, who go around the community shoveling snow for people in need. Kim V texted us, and she would like to give a shout out to her sister Georgette Bowley from Russell, Manitoba. She's been a coordinator for the food bank there for many, many years, and also creating and the distribution of Christmas hampers. She volunteers for many organizations and activities throughout the community as well. Kim is giving a shout out to Carol Castle. She's the lady that put together the Winnipeg Halloween map, the Winnipeg Christmas map, and the Winnipeg garage sale map. It's a lot of work, and she makes many, many people happy. People can find the places they would like to go or see easily because of the mapping that she does. It is a lot of work. Thank you, Carol. Randy Lee S. gives a big shout out to Big Hearts Hampers and all the volunteers in Selkirk. The process ran very smoothly this year, especially in that cold. Thank you all very much. And from a Your Morning Winnipeg viewer, shout out to Winnipeg and Brandon Bear Clan Patrol. Thanks so much for your responses. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Manitoba Electrical Museum. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Michelle. Now, this is a Christmas tree you probably haven't seen before. Chris Sobel's joining us from Saving Audio Recycling. Tell us about this group, Chris.
Okay, hi, I'm Chris Sobel. I'm the volunteer coordinator with Saving Audio Recycling. We are a grassroots volunteer group here in Winnipeg, and what we do is we restore and repair old amplifiers, stereo equipment, basically old amplifiers, loudspeakers, CD players, record players, cassette decks, musical instrument amplifiers, etc., etc., etc. And then what we do after we're done with it is we give it away to local not-for-profit organizations. and they usually sell that at their thrift stores, and that funds their community function. And one of the not-for-profit organizations that we donate to, when we get a piece of historical era equipment, we give to the Manitoba Electrical Museum here.
That's so fascinating. Did this all start because you were seeing an increase in these items and equipment in landfills?
Yeah, well, partly, I think it's because this whole organization was born out of, first off, love for the equipment. You know, we're audiophiles, we're audio geeks, so to speak. And we took a look at the recycling system here in the city. And, you know, recycling is good, but reuse is always better. And there was a lot of stuff that presented itself at some of these depots. We just happened to notice it. I said, you know, a lot of this stuff really shouldn't be thrown away, you know? I mean, it might need fixing or whatever, and that's what we're good at. And so we don't really want it, but we just don't want to see it destroyed. And we need to find an outlet for it. And that's the genesis of the organization.
There's such cool history here at the Electrical Museum. What are some of the older items that you want to feature this morning?
Okay. Well, what we see down here is a couple of pieces. That reel-to-reel machine right there was from us. We donated that to the museum. Those two little speakers there we use for testing equipment, and these were already on catalog at the museum itself. And these are the 3 wise trees of recycling: reduce, reuse, and recycle. And in here we have, this is just a hodgepodge magpie's nest of stuff that was going to be recycled. There's some of these old vacuum tubes and that.
Sorry, we're out of time. But you know what? These musical devices, they can play Christmas carols like any other.
Yes, indeed.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's much warmer today than it's been.
It's going to be a beautiful day today. So much better than it's been, and I promise you better than tomorrow. Even if you're, looking at the temperatures thinking, but tomorrow is going to be +5. Sure, it might, but not for long and not in a pleasant way in any way whatsoever. So do make the most of today, because this is going to be like a perfect winter day. We've got, well, not much sunshine yet, but I think we'll see moments of it later on today. And the temperatures will be seasonal and the wind staying light. We're actually above seasonal to kick things off right now, -11. And the winds, I mentioned them being light today. They're 15 clicks out of the north. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 79%. So pleasant conditions to kick off the week. And then I said tomorrow won't be pleasant. I know it's going to warm up. In fact, it's going to continue to warm up overnight. So we're going to see some bizarre temperature trends. So instead of dropping in the overnight hours as it typically would, it's going to continue to warm up to around the freezing mark, and with some precipitation on the way, we might be seeing some freezing rain overnight. Then it continues to warm up through the morning hours tomorrow to about +5. The freezing rain changes to showers, and then the winds will be shifting. The winds are getting strong out of the southwest overnight. They'll be intense tomorrow as they shift out of the northwest, gusting at times to 70 kilometers per hour. What that's going to do is drive the temperature down, change the showers back to flurries. Anything that's in liquid form becomes ice. It's going to be pleasant. It's going to get cold, and like I said, +5, it's not going to be feeling good. So get outside today, make the most of it. What a beautiful Monday we've got ahead of us. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful, helping your home get holiday ready with blinds from Hunter Douglas.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A new survey is confirming what many patients already know, that the time between getting a referral from a family doctor and receiving treatment can be agonizingly long. As CTV's Maria Saru reports, the wait can be especially long for those living in Atlantic Canada.
For patients across the country, the hard part isn't just the treatment, it's the time it takes to get there.
The data is depressing.
New figures this week show the wait for surgery or specialist care can be close to a year on the East Coast. But that's no surprise, says health expert Nadim Ismail.
The Atlantic provinces in the East Coast have always had longer waits than the rest of the nation.
The Fraser Institute surveyed over 1,500 specialist physicians across Canada and calculated how long patients wait between a family doctor referral referral and treatment. The national median is 28.6 weeks, down slightly from 30 last year. New Brunswick has the longest delay at nearly 61 weeks, followed by PEI at close to 50, Nova Scotia at 49, and Newfoundland around 43. The root problem is a shortage of physicians and specialists, says the Medical Society of PEI's former president.
At this stage, we're in a real bottleneck. We need to get more physicians and more healthcare staff in order to deal with the backlog.
Officials are trying to turn the tide. Health PEI's new strategic plan sets a target of 60 physician hires in 2025. But as of October, just 28 had been hired. The agency brought 41 physicians on board in 2024. Behind me, UPEI's new medical school is also expected to bolster the local workforce, along with more training seats through Dalhousie University. But experts say it'll take time before patients see meaningful change. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
You can feel the buzz in the air. Maybe you haven't got all of the gifts that you need for the people on your list. And Kita Aurora joins me today from Best Buy with some great ideas. You've actually got a whole list, a guide, a holiday guide, right, that can help people along?
That's right. Hi, nice meeting you, Teddy here.
Very nice having you here. So yeah, let's talk about this holiday guide and give people the goods that they need.
I feel like Best Buy, it has become a go-to destination for the most latest and greatest tech products, and with the lowest price guaranteed. And we do have a holiday gift guide right now going on our website, bestbuy.ca, which gives you multiple different options with the best values. And here are some of the few products we're going to talk about.
Excellent. Okay, so I mean, the list is long and extensive, but let's just talk about some of the items here that we can showcase.
Sure. This is Meet Your New Take Me Anywhere Gaming Buddy, Nintendo Switch 2. It's the most portable ever made evolution of hybrid gaming. So at home or while you're going on outside, you can play this, have fun with your family and friends. With a supercharged chip and a built-in mic, the game chat allows you to connect up to 12 friends anywhere all over the place, even they're not with you, still feeling like they're sitting on the couch with you.
Oh, very nice.
That's right. And what makes this interesting is 2 USB-C ports. So one for charging the Nintendo Switch 2, and the second for making it play on a big screen without babysitting the battery.
Oh, love that, right? Road trips, you mentioned it goes with you. Great thing for, I mean, the whole family to take part in. What have we got next here?
So this is a Google Pixel Watch 4, smart, sleek, and it thinks one step ahead of us to make our moment connected and effortless. This is made of stainless steel body, and it has a vibrant display, and it is 50-meter water resistance. What makes this a lot good is it tracks your heart rate, it do workout and exercises. Why this is my essential for everyday use is it tracks my sleep.
Ooh.
I usually have like a very bad sleep schedule, so it gives me insights and a routine of how good or bad my sleep was.
And Kita is buzzing right now because it knows that I have a bad sleep schedule too.
Exactly.
Great way to keep track of that. Love that idea. We don't want to run out of time. What's next here?
This is Kobo Libra Color 7. It's a touch screen. It has a waterproof, so take in the tub or in the bath or in the pool. Ooh. Worry free. All about that. And it has a front light adjustment with a Comfort Pro, so it minimizes the stress on your eyes if you read indoors, outdoors, day or night, anything like that. Yeah.
Perfect. Another thing that you can take on the go, perfect for the book lover in your life. This is something I love. I've got to say, I've become obsessed with the hair wrap.
Exactly. Everybody's favorite, Dyson Airwrap. You know, we all have that one friend who takes forever to dry their hair. That was me, I think, 2 years ago when I get that myself on my like a Christmas gift out. So this Dyson Airwrap, it has something called Coanda effect. So basically your hair wraps around the barrels automatically without any tangles. So even if your styling skills are questionable, I'll say it still gives you a similar finish. Exactly.
Love that. These are all the things that you mentioned you'll find on that holiday gift guide. Let's talk quickly about Boxing Day as well.
So with the Boxing Day kicking in, door crusher deals are going to be very hot.
Ooh.
So those hot offers are not going to last very longer. So grab those deals as early as possible. And don't forget to create my Best Buy account. Ooh, completely free, but it unlocks a very exclusive perks and promotions for you guys.
Deals on top of deals on top of deals. Gotta love how that sounds.
Exactly.
And some great ideas for everybody on your list. Thanks so much for joining us today.
No problem.
All right, minus 11 outside this morning. A few extra clouds, but they'll likely clear. At least somewhat moments of sunshine expected off and on through the day. The winds are light out of the north, 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 79%. As those clouds break up a little bit, we'll see moments of sunshine. The temperatures are already pleasant and above seasonal. We're not going to see a drastic warm up for today. That will come tomorrow, but there won't be anything pleasant about it because of the winds. Now let's get back to today because, like I said, it'll be pleasant, fairly seasonal. The numbers that you're seeing on the screen, pretty much normal for this time of year. There might be a little bit of precipitation through some parts of the north. Others will see a little more in the way of sunshine. Northwestern Manitoba on the cloudier side and maybe some scattered snow up and around the Lynn Lake area. Moving through southern Manitoba, yes, the clouds might break up a little bit, and these numbers pretty much normal. Minus 10 would be a seasonal daytime high. So pleasant for today. Make the most of it. I know it wasn't pleasant over the weekend, and it won't be tomorrow. Tomorrow's got a warm up coming, but it won't be in a very good way. What's going to happen is we're going to see these temperatures rising through the day to about minus 10. They'll continue to warm up overnight. Freezing rain is expected. Tomorrow we continue to warm to a high of +5. Showers expected. They'll change to flurries. Everything gets a little bit colder after that. So like I said, today is the day to enjoy. Get outside and make the most of it. We're taking a break. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
First-time meetings can be stressful, Terry, especially when you're on thin ice. Check this out.
Babe.
Oh my goodness, literally this guy was meeting his girlfriend's parents and wanted to show off by carrying all their luggage. Unfortunately for him, he was slipping and sliding all over the place because of the icy conditions. Yeah, he didn't impress. They sent him back home. Now a fun game for your family and friends this holiday season. Looks harder than it looks, or it's harder than it looks. The goal is to spin around for 30 seconds, then jump on your piece of paper. It doesn't look like there was any winners in this group.
Okay, there's also no furniture in that house, and thank goodness for that.
They're bouncing off of each other. And now to a much, much warmer zoo. Staff at this zoo in Colombia gave rescued animals Christmas-themed environmental activities. This conservation is built on the former estate of Pablo Escobar and now promotes itself as a conservation-focused theme park. Animals there are rescued from illegal trafficking, and the zoo uses environmental enrichment to try and get animals to act natural.
If they're not playing I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas, that's a missed opportunity.
That does it for us. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.